And welcome everybody to NCAA Tournament Baseball, Division II style, as the Tampa Spartans get ready to take on the Spring Hill Badgers in the first game of the Tampa Regional. Tampa, the host team at the Regional this year. Hi everybody, Jack Ike along with Taylor Stolworthy, and we welcome you to the University of Tampa campus for this first game of a double elimination tournament. Teams are being introduced right now. And Taylor, this is our first game you and I get to do together, but looking forward to it, and I probably couldn't ask for a better matchup here.
Agreed. These two teams are going to have a very entertaining day here. 88 degrees, so nice and hot, but on the field, it's going to feel a little closer to 100. So that'll be a little bit of a factor, but again, we've got an electric offense with Spring Hills. You have so many players in this team who can hit really well. The entire team batting over 300 and a couple 400 hitters, which feels like a rarity in the modern game.
Definitely so. You look at their roster, 1, 2, 3. 3 players hitting over 400, a couple hovering near there, a 368 team batting average. That's incredible. I thought Tampa was just pounding the ball at 302, and they were always one of the tops in the conference. 368 is unheard of. So if you're hitting below 368, you're below average on this team.
Exactly, and to just see how that offense could work in action, they recently had the conference tournament, and after winning those 4 games in the tournament, they'd scored 47 runs over that period, just to show how that will be tough for Tampa's pitchers to deal with. But Tampa does have some strong pitchers, and we even were able to talk with Coach Frank Sims before the game, and he said that he feels that Tampa's pitching staff is going to be tricky for his team to deal with. So we'll have to see whether his bats will stay hot or Tampa's pitchers can just stay locked in and get some crucial outs.
Tampa comes in 40-10, winners of the Sunshine State Conference regular season title. There is no conference tournament, and Spring Hill comes in at 38-13, winners of the SIAC regular season championship. We're going to step out for the national anthem and be back with the starting lineups and the start of this game. We're just about ready to start play here. We'll get you the starting lineups for today's game. Spring Hill is from Mobile, Alabama. It's a private school in the Spring Hill neighborhood of Mobile, Alabama. The starting lineups for the visiting Spring Hill Badgers. Tampa is the number 1 seed in the tournament. Spring Hill is the number 8 seed. The way that it works is 1-8 and 3-4 are meeting here in Tampa this weekend in a double elimination tournament. But there's a second regional going on with the 2 seed hosting teams. And after this weekend, the winners of each of these 2 South regionals will meet for a regional, basically a super regional championship next weekend, which from our point of view, we hope's here in Tampa.
Exactly, and if we win, we are the 1 seed in our region. We'd be able to host it back at the University of Tampa, but we need to win 3 games to get there. Firstly, the first round, then in the second round, and then we need to finish the job and defeat the winner of the losers bracket. But the good news is Tampa has 1 mulligan, double elimination, as you had mentioned previously. So if you lose, you go to the losers bracket, and you climb your way back, and you've got to beat the winner twice to get the title.
Coaches meeting with the umpires. One difference you'll notice is there are 4 umpires for NCAA tournament games, normally during the regular season, 2 umpires, a home plate umpire, and a base umpire. And we'll get you the umpires for today's game. Danny Glidewell, Ryan McCraney, John Bennett, and Paul Taylor. Starting lineups for today's game, leading off for Spring Hill will be number 6, and that is
Gage Ragona.
Gage Ragona, from Mobile, Alabama, a junior outfielder. Batting second is number 8, and that is Grayson Williams, a 6'2 senior outfielder from Mobile, Alabama. Some hometown talent there. Batting fifth this is unusual, but it's Micah Morgan, the pitcher. The lefty is also a utility player, but he'll be pitching today as a sophomore from Faith Hope, Alabama. Batting cleanup is the shortstop, number 15, Norris McClure. He is a sophomore, 6'2", from Mandeville, Louisiana. Batting fifth is number 12. Number 12 is Luke Sweeney, a 5'11 sophomore from Hammond, Louisiana. Batting sixth is number 2, the second baseman, Frankie Timpany, and he is a 5'11 junior from New Orleans, Louisiana. Batting eighth is the right fielder, number 32. 32 is Grant Akridge, and he is a 6'4 senior from Alabama. And batting ninth is the third baseman, and that is number 9, Cam Brock, a 6-foot freshman from Alabama as well. And catching behind the plate, number 25 is Daniel Sears, a grad student, 5'11 from Canton, Georgia. Spartans will send Alex Caney to the mound for this game. And as we mentioned, it's a double elimination series. The Spartans might be, even though the Spartans hit really well, this might be a matter of great Spartan pitching against some hot bats from Spring Hill. Who's going to win that battle?
And that's a huge thing. You look at an immovable force. The Spartans pitching staff incredibly strong, but an unmovable object in the bats of Spring Hill. And it's always exciting to see these types of matchups happen. I will say that it can sometimes come down to just who is better on the day.
Yes.
So really, it's a coin flip. That's why you play the game. You can't look at a game and say, this team's going to win based off this. And obviously, we've still got 9 innings to play, and we need to get started and see just how it'll go. But of course, as you mentioned, Tampa sending Alex to the mound today. So far, he's only started in 5 games, but has a 1.36 ERA throughout his 33 innings pitched and 39 strikeouts.
Yeah.
So he's been pretty strong, and they're trusting him to get the Spartans tournament underway.
Well, they say a strikeout to walk ratio of 2-1 is good, 3-1 is great, 4-1 is exceptional. He's 39 Ks to 7 walks, and that is over 5-1 ratio. So just a 1-0 record on the year, and this will be his 6th start of the year. And leading off will be Ragona, one of the number of Spring Hill batters hitting over 400 on the season. First pitch, we're underway with a strike. Ragona coming in at .435, started and played in all 51 games for Spring Hill this year. Canny out of the stretch, swing and a miss. As you mentioned, a hot day in Tampa.
It's only going to get hotter as it continues.
Being the unprofessional meteorologist I am, I had learned years ago that the hottest part of the day is usually 3 hours before sunset. So that's about 4 or 5 o'clock. And we're at 1 o'clock.
That's maybe one of the reasons why Tampa players and Spring Hill players might be a little happier to get the game out of the way early, while the players who are in the second game might be saying, oh man, we're going to have to play in the really, really dead heat of the summer.
Yep. There is a second game after this one. 1-2 on the way. Swing and a miss. Canny with his 40th strikeout of the season.
Already seeing some great command and great stuff early on. A really well first pitch that was taken just on that outside corner, and then forced 2 swings and misses to retire the first batter.
The second game scheduled for 5 o'clock today is the number 4 seed Valdosta State playing Tampa's conference rival, number 5 seed Nova Southeastern. There's one down the line and knocked down, foul. We'll let everybody know, I do this every game, is our camera is 1 Daniel gets tired of hearing me say this every game. Daniel's our producer here, does a great job, and now he's an alum of the University of Tampa, unlike me, a former alum from the University of Wisconsin, apparently. But what I was going to say about the camera, there's another foul ball. We have one camera. It doesn't move. We have limited space in the press box. I've seen other schools have to do this too, so you can't see down the lines. So we will just let you know what happens when the ball goes down the left or right field line.
Exactly, and both those pitches did go down those lines, but were very well enough foul, so they stay out of play. As now we're going to see the 0-2 from Canny.
Just missing outside, a little off-speed pitch. School is over. How long has it been over? A week or two now?
Yeah, just a couple of weeks.
2 weeks?
Finals are a couple of weeks ago, and that's always a stressful time of the year for students. But once you get to the postseason, all you have to focus on is the sports, and less about the academics. That's where you can really have a lot of the fun.
A little bit high.
Saw the umpire have to duck there, and a good catch, though, to make sure it didn't run into him. And good job by Rulli there.
Set the Spartans for you as Canny is on the mound. Josh Rulli is behind the plate. Dan Sullivan is at first. Drew Earhart is at second. Anthony Nunez is third. J.D. Urso is the shortstop. Jamarcus Lyons in left. Jordan Lala in center. There's a fly ball out to E.J. Cumbo, and he makes the catch in right. Perfect timing to finish out the Spartan defense.
That was a well-hit ball, but Cumbo was right there. He didn't have to track too far and makes the second out of the inning. So good start for the Spartans on defense. And good to see Spring Hill get in play, but haven't been able to get a base runner yet. We'll have to see if that can change as their two-way player steps up here. Morgan, of course, so far, one of the best hitters on the team, slashing .446, a .564, and .837 slugging.
Swing and a miss, big swing. Tom Colby pointed this out to me a couple weeks ago. We haven't been here in 3 weeks. The Spartans' last 3 series were all on the road. So we haven't been here since April.
I think the Spartans are going to love playing back home again as that one's fouled away, as we already see quite a few fans here.
Yeah.
And notably, too, because you've got the regionals, you've got plenty of fans traveling, making a trip from Mobile, Alabama. So we see some purple shirts and purple hats.
Yeah.
Spring Hill College fans here, as the count now is at 0-2.
Canny out of the stretch, just missing. But what I was going to say, Tom Colby mentioned, he said, do you notice you haven't seen as many home runs later in the season as you do earlier in the season? His theory is as we warm up and it gets more humid, the ball doesn't travel as far. And can't dispute it. Ground ball out to Earhart, takes it on a hop, throws to Sullivan to end the inning. Spring Hill goes 1-2-3. Spartans will be coming up. For the bottom of the first, we've played half an inning, and it is no score with Tampa coming to bat.
Just another ordinary day at UT.
All right, bottom of the first we go. Tampa coming to bat. The lineup for Tampa, they will start with number 11, J.D. Urso leading off. Missed a couple games with a hand problem and come back with a vengeance. Was named All-Conference and All-Region. He is a 6'1 freshman. The name sounds familiar. Urso, he is the coach's son. Batting second is number 8, Jordan Lala, and he is a junior from Tampa, Florida. Went to Steinbrenner High School, transferred in from the University of Miami. Batting third is number 2, Drew Earhart, a grad student, a 5'11 player from Wharton High School here in Tampa. Batting fourth, number 26, Dan Sullivan. And Sully is a junior, 6'2", 200-pounder from Oakton Community College up near Chicago, went to St. Viator High School, a Chicago suburb. Batting fifth is 0, Jamarcus Lyons, playing left field, 5'8", 220-pounder from Tampa, Florida, went to King High School. Batting sixth is number 19, E.J. Cumbo, a sophomore from East Meadow, New York. Has an interesting story of how he ended up in Tampa. We'll finish the lineup in a second. First pitch to Urso from Micah Morgan is a strike. Batting seventh is number 9, Anthony Nunez. He's at third base, a freshman from Hialeah, Florida. Batting eighth is number 23, the DH, John Malcolm. And John is a sophomore from Detroit, Michigan. And batting ninth is the catcher, number 25, Josh Rulai. Josh is from Riverview, Florida. Fouled off. Micah Morgan pitching and batting third in the lineup, and he comes in. He's got a 3-0 record on the year, a 4.68 ERA, 11th appearance. This will be his first start of the year. Ground ball gets through, base hit for J.D. Urso, top hitter on the team for the Spartans, proving why they moved him up to the top of the order.
And a good job to battle back. He went 0 for 2 in the count early on, but keeps the count alive on a foul ball, puts one in play that's just a little too hard for the second baseman for Spring Hill to get. Of course, Tim Finney almost got in his glove, but just a few inches wide. That's why it's a game of inches. And now, a runner on first for the second bat for the Spartans, Jordan Lala.
Lala to the plate, the first pitch. He's going to show bunt. Typical Joe Urso move here is get that leadoff runner on, move him to second. Little small ball at this point. Tampa does not hit for a lot of power so far on the year. They have 40 home runs. There's a foul ball.
And even though it's not as flashy as a big power type of ball, hitting those bombs all the way out of the yard, small ball can be just as effective because all it takes when you have a runner in second is a ball that reaches the outfield for that runner to turn on the jets and make it home. Shows
the bunt again, pulls it back. Well, as far as I know, if you win 3-2, you still win, right?
Exactly. Even if you win 1-0, that is a win. Because after all, you can score 10 runs in a game, but you can still lose 11-10.
Yeah. Or if you're the Cincinnati Reds and you throw a no-hitter and lose 1-0. I told my wife that, and she goes, "What? Is that possible?"
It is. In fact, with the ghost runner, it's also possible to lose
True.
a perfect game.
Yes, somebody mentioned that a while ago.
All you'd have to do is just take that to extras, 2 sacrifices, and boom.
I think what actually happened, one of the odd things with that ghost runner, the runner going, he draws a walk, runners on first and second, is a team lost or won, depending on who you were cheering for, with no official at bat. Wild pitch moved him to third, and then I think a wild pitch scored him.
Yeah, or if there's like a game-winning balk, that can happen too.
Yeah, so you can win in extra innings.
That's just so fun because just all of a sudden you can have just one crazy play that leads to a win. I think that's what's something truly special about baseball.
Personally, I don't like it, but the giving him a runner.
Exactly. Now, you were mentioning Urso on first and wanted to move him to second. Well, you do that a little bit less conventionally with a walk, but a good job by Lala to get on base.
Yep.
0-1 now to Drew Earhart.
Earhart, one of the top hitters on the team. 333 on the year, all conference, all region. 8 players, all conference, all region. Earhart gets the, that's a good bunt. He's going to beat it out because there's nobody covering the base. It gets away. That'll bring J.D. Urso in to score. Tampa takes a 1-0 lead. Here comes Lala. They're sending him in. Throw to the plate. He slides. He's safe. 2-0 Tampa.
And that is the reason you run small ball. All it takes is one errant throw, and the Spartans now have a 2-run lead in the bottom of the first inning, and you've got a runner on second right away.
I'm not sure if Spring Hills didn't adjust correctly or just didn't adjust in time for the second baseman to get to the base.
I'd argue maybe it's a bit of both because obviously when you take a look at Earhart, one of the better hitters for the Spartans, you're not expecting him to drop a bunt like that down, and it was going to be a close play at first, But throw dribbles a little bit wide and allows 1 run and a 2nd run sent home. Gets there in time.
Sullivan fouls that one off, almost off his ankle. So Earhart now on second base, reaching by an error.
And no outs, a 2-run lead with arguably their most dangerous hitter, Sullivan, over 1,000 OPS because he is slugging .610 and gets on base .414 alongside 12 home runs and 51 RBIs. Going to have to see how Micah Morgan's able to adjust.
Sullivan, the leading home run hitter for Tampa this year. Big swing there. Down 0-2 now. Joe Urso, 22 years of knowledge. He knows what can make things move. Earhart is very good at bunting like that, and it almost looked like he wasn't bunting for a hit, but the way he dropped it down, it was going to be close.
And that's always good, and that one's going to go deep.
It's going to go and near the foul pole, and they call it a home run. They said it hit inside the yellow line, and a 2-run bomb by Dan Sullivan. I thought I saw it hit the left side, the foul side, but the umpire down the line signaled it was just inside. Fair ball, and Dan Sullivan goes as opposite field as you can go, and the Spartans lead 4-0.
Exactly, and I mentioned it a little while ago, game of inches. Well, that was a home run by inches. Just stays inside, and what has turned from a good start to the Spartans, I'd say it's nearly flawless. No outs, and you're already up 4-0 on just 2 hits. Disappointing for Micah Morgan. That'll be 2 earned runs there, but so far, those 2 previous ones were not earned at all off that throwing error. But very disappointing for Spring Hill. We were trying to see whether it was going to be the offense of Spring Hill or the pitching staff of Tampa getting ahead early. It's instead Tampa's bats really generating some stuff early on.
I mean, Tampa's bats aren't meek by any stretch.
Of course.
But
302 average for the season. They shows that they have a little bit of firepower too. Looks a little bit less nice than a 368 team average, but when you're able to score 4 runs in the first inning, that'll show you just how strong they are.
Frank Sims, head coach at Spring Hill, admitted that they didn't always play top-notch competition, and he said there were times we had an 8 or 9 run lead after 3 or 4 innings, and I took the starters out, and we ended up with 15 runs. He said because the pitching wasn't always great, but he said he tried to schedule non-conference games against the best he could find so that they would know what it's like to play in a game like this.
I think that's what's important as well, because you can give yourself an easy strength of schedule, as we see Lions do a good job of forcing a walk, but when it comes to push to shove to the playoffs, you need to have that tough competition so you know how to adjust to those games. The good news is, if Spring Hill can't come back here, they do have another game tomorrow as they get settled in. But sometimes it's just a type of game that's a wake-up call if you don't have a lot of experience playing those tough teams, and they might have just gotten a little bit too comfortable off a 7-game winning streak entering today. That one's going to be fouled away, so unsurprising to go for another sacrifice. Still no outs in the first inning.
Small ball, still with no outs. Yeah, this is E.J. Cumbo. 347 on the year. That's not bad when your number 6 hitter is a 347 hitter.
And that's, I think, just as a testament to how deep the Spartans' bats are. They have so many players that can hit down the order. I think Tampa's...
That's a good bunt. No choice, and he threw it away. This may score a run. No, they're going to hold him. Cumbo to second, Lyons to third, and another throwing error on what was to be a sacrifice bunt. So, hate to say it, but for Spring Hill, the wheels are falling off early. And a trip to the mound for Frank Sims, the head coach.
And honestly, we don't see anyone warming up in the bullpen, so I think it's just trying to
settle
tell Morgan
down.
to just settle down, get into it. Hey, listen, it's a long day. We've got plenty of time. We know how strong our bats are. Focus about getting outs and getting out of the inning. And obviously, I think when the team comes back to the dugout, he's going to tell the fielders, hey, we have to make those throws happen.
Got to pick them up, yeah.
Because apart from that home run, a lot of the issues that have happened are because we haven't been fielding cleanly enough.
Yep.
And as a colleague of mine who does softball said, you can't win a game on 5 errors. And so far, 2 errors in the first inning.
Yeah.
Not a great start for Spring Hill College.
And still no outs for Tampa.
Yeah. So honestly, if you're a Tampa fan, you're absolutely loving this. If you're tuning in from a Spring Hill perspective, we definitely can feel while you might not be the most happiest of campers right now. Still plenty of time to go, as now we're going to see Nunez come up with 2 runners on in scoring position.
Spring Hill is going to rely on the fact that they average 11.8 runs a game. Anthony Nunez to the plate. 284 hitter on the year. We were talking about Spring Hill, 11.8 a game, number 1 scoring team in NCAA Division II. They have 2 players who have 88 and 82 runs scored this year. You look at the Spartans, tops on the list is 50 for Jordan Lala. They have 2 players, 88 and 82.
Yeah, and I think that's just interesting to see the difference between these teams. Spring Hill's offense a lot more active, but as we were mentioning previous in the game, Simstead's pitching hasn't always been top-notch, although even though it's a slow start, you can't fully blame Morgan for it because there have been some fielding errors. The only thing you can really blame him for was that hit early on that went to past the second baseman, and of course,
the home run
that was honestly very close to being off the wall or foul.
But it wasn't either.
It stayed in the park, and that's why Tampa's lead is 4 instead of 2.
I tell you, when Sullivan first hit that, I thought medium depth fly ball because it was hit really high, and he usually hits bombs that go straight out to right field. This was, I thought, medium fly, left field line, and it just kept going, and that you keep watching the left fielder, and he's still moving.
Yeah, because it looked like it was just going to be a medium fly ball. That one goes off the first baseman.
Brings a run in.
Get the first out of the inning, but it does bring a run home from third. Tampa now takes a 5-0 lead. The only solace? Now there's only a runner on third and 1 out. And yeah, because when a ball gets that high, you rarely expect it to leave the park.
No. This is going to bring up John Malcolm, the DH. Malcolm comes in with a 281 average.
And it's weird to see a designated hitter farther down the lineup, but again, that's just how strong Tampa's bats are.
That's pretty typical for Tampa, but he then just pops one up the middle. Another run scores, 6-0 Tampa, still 1 out.
And a good job there by Malcolm, just going aggressive early and getting a nice little grounder that's tough to field, gets up the middle, and Tampa now up by 6.
You know, that might have been built into the scouting report, or it may have happened as the game has moved on. It's like jump on the first pitch because he's struggling. He's going to try to throw a strike, probably a fastball, so be ready.
And maybe try to take advantage if you can get a ball in play of a few of the fielding errors. He's going to go to second.
Malcolm,
the throw won't be in time. They'll get a stolen base.
I think he saw something, or Joe Urso saw something about Morgan with runners on base because Malcolm just took off quickly and beat that throw early.
Yeah, that's a great jump for Malcolm just to give no shot for Saris to get the throw in.
Josh Rulai, the catcher, to the plate. A 200 hitter on the year. Change that to 280. I tell you, this 8-point type does me no good. If it might be 6.
Well, sometimes you need to have that to fit all the stats on and save a little bit of paper.
I do. I know. That's what I did. Fouled off. Going to be 0-2 to Rulai. The Spartans leadoff hitter J.D. Urso on deck.
You don't always go through the entire order in one inning, but very well might unless there's a double play here turned by Spring Hill.
0-2 for Morgan. Ground ball, foul. Bounces down toward the Spartan bullpen. University of Tampa right in downtown Tampa. You can see the downtown tall buildings in the outfield. There is the Hillsborough River. If you've ever been here, you probably know this. But between the tall buildings and the stadium here is the Hillsborough River. And have you ever heard of the Hillsborough River before? Yes, because 2 years ago, Tom Brady threw the Super Bowl trophy from one boat to another to Rob Gronkowski basically right over here, over the outfield wall.
I was there in front of the McKay dorm watching that parade. It was a really fun time, and indeed, Tom Brady having a little bit of fun and tossed the Super Bowl trophy. Thankfully, it didn't land in the water. That would have been a disaster, as the Hillsborough River would have had a souvenir. Count as goes to 2-2 with that pitch outside. But
I can't imagine it would have stayed at the bottom for too long.
True. It probably would have floated right back up. Maybe a fish would have
there'd
been hoist to Lombardi.
There'd have been 20 or 30 divers immediately.
Oh, yeah. 2-2 now to Rulai.
Off speed, fouled off.
I was over at McKay Dorm, which is right on the river for my first year at the University of Tampa. And it is a really nice place to just go outside, get some fresh air, and sometimes see some boats and people walking by. Mm-hmm. And it's just great because you do get that direct view of downtown Tampa, a few of the large buildings. It's really just a nice campus in general.
Rulai still 2-2. Malcolm on second. 1 out. The pitch popped up, out of play. So the Spartans with a statement first inning. First off, Alex Canny, normally a relief pitcher, part-time starter. A quick 1-2-3 first, then the Spartans get 6 batters up before they even record an out and lead 6-0.
Now with that one, the count's going to go full.
Full, yeah.
Malcolm stays at second. No time to get to third on that one. But that's really good news for Canny. He now can go back onto the mound and just take a deep breath because, honestly, all he needs to do is just coast and bring it home. He does have some tough bats to face, but to get a 6-run lead, that is a very, very good start and alleviates a whole lot of pressure.
It's full count now to Rulai. Morgan's already walked 2 today. That's down the line, and it is a fair ball. Kicks up the dust. No, he called it foul. I thought it kicked up chalk.
There's a little dust patch as well right by that line. It's hard to tell, but just stays foul. Disappointing for the Spartans, and maybe a little bit of a breath for the Badgers just to say, phew.
Thank you.
We'll very gladly take that one because that would have turned this game, and we would saw Malcolm on the Jets. He would have been home.
Now, this is why they have 4 umpires in NCAA tournament games, because that might have been called fair, because if you look at the umpire right by second base, that's where the base umpire would have been during the regular season, and he would have made that call. 3-2 again, ground ball heading out to shortstop. McClure, 2 outs. Malcolm stays at second. J.D. Urso, who led off the game with a base hit, back to the plate, still in the first.
Urso was also able to come home on the throwing error. So a hit and a run so far. Great start for him. Now was a chance for the runner in scoring position to keep this pretty long first inning alive. Morgan already on 38 pitches. And we do see some players in the bullpen warming up for Spring Hill.
I would think that would make sense.
Yeah, although at this point, you might as well just try to give Morgan another inning or two. It's already a pretty inflated scoreline, and only throw in the life preserver if he's truly drowning. Because so far, he honestly hasn't been. He's had a couple walks, but he's been doing a good job of trying to force ground balls, with the exception of that home run.
Little blooper out to right field. Coming in is Akridge. Makes the catch. Inning finally over. Spartans 6 runs, just 3 hits. 2 errors from Spring Hill. Couple walks as well. We played 1 full. 6-0 Tampa on TampaSpartans.tv.
College sports.
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
A return to normal, and all we love about sports.
You've instilled resilience, focus, and selflessness in us. We've put those lessons to work.
We've found strength and unity in each other.
You continue to take us places we never imagined.
You bring out the best in us.
So when we look forward, we see the light at the end of the tunnel.
We see a better world for all of us and for college sports.
This is the University of Tampa. Explore your dreams. Discover your talents. Get ready to invent, innovate, and be a leader. This is the University of Tampa.
Alex Canny back on the bump for inning number 2, this time supported by a 6-run first inning, as he will get ready to face McClure. Top of the second. McClure, the shortstop, 380 on the year, and he's only the 4th best batting average on this team.
Yeah, that's the type of batting average that for the Spartans would, I think, put you at an undisputed leadoff role because you're hitting so well, but that's pretty much par for the course for Spring Hill.
Ground ball. Oh, good fielding by Canny. Throws over, 1 down.
Great reaction there.
I don't know if that was self-preservation or just good fielding, probably both.
Yeah, I mean, indeed both, because that was a hard-hit ground ball. Takes a weird hop, gets the glove, flashes the leather, and makes the play to preserve himself and the clean start so far. 1 out, and now we're going to see Sweeney up for Spring Hill. And so far, Sweeney, he's more of a contact guy, but he's hitting a pretty impressive .446 batting average, .487 on base, and .531 slugging for the season. So, as well, another pretty good hitter, as he's going to foul that
off
one by the bullpen.
We did talk to Joe Urso just about the fact he was starting Alex Canny today, and he's not one of their normal, during the regular season, 3 starters. And I said, is it a bullpen game possibly? And he said, no. Ground ball out to Earhart. Takes a couple hops, 2 up, 2 down quickly. And he said, no, but he said if we get a lead, maybe. Well, they've got a big lead, and what he would like to do is if he can take a guy like Canny, one of his top relievers, out of the game early, he's got him for the rest of the weekend as well.
Exactly.
But you don't want to play with fire a little bit too much, even with a 6-run lead.
Of course, and Canny's been solid so far, so obviously you might want to go in 2-3 innings, but of course, being a top reliever for the Spartans, you'd love to have him available for the games on Friday and on Saturday, where there's a little more pressure, because again, this is a very low-stakes game. Sure, if you lose, you're then fighting for your chance to keep your season alive tomorrow, but again, you've got a mulligan of a loss, so if you have a slow start, you can still come back later throughout the weekend. So obviously for Spring Hill, they're currently losing by a little bit of a margin. They're still going to have a chance to come back Friday and then Saturday, and if they got on a run, they can force the, if necessary, game on Sunday.
So quick 2 up, 2 out. Ball missing just outside.
So Rulai tried to frame that in the zone, but it's not enough. On a little bit outside. You could see the first base runner, 3-0 count from Timpany, a good eye to get ahead.
3-0, down the pipe, strike call. Couple news and notes on the head coaches for today's games. This is the 22nd year Joe Urso has been head coach. It is the 22nd consecutive year Tampa has made the NCAA tournament. He's never failed to make the NCAA tournament, so congrats to coach for that one. For Frank Sims, 37 years at Spring Hill and a couple years at a couple other places. He recorded his 1,000th career win earlier this season.
That's great to reach a 1,000 win milestone. Truly a Spring Hill legend for coaching and bringing them back to the tournament this season. So a great season overall, even if the tournament isn't perfect for Spring Hill or for any of the other teams there, because obviously you've got teams that would have loved to just make it to the dance.
And by the way, with the 1,000 career wins and this tournament, Frank Sims will be retiring after the tournament, no matter where it ends. He said it'd be fun to end it with a national championship.
That's always the best way to go out, going out on top. As we now get the 3-1.
Walked him.
First
so
base
a
runner
2-out
for Spring
walk.
Hill. Indeed, a 2-out walk. Timpany, good discipline with the full count to get on base.
Acreage to the plate. Right-handed hitter.
Candy ready to go? And that's a breaker
nice
that's going
bender.
to turn inside. Ooh, a little bit of break there. I can understand why Acreage thought that was going to just go inside, but it does go inside the zone, not on the inside corner for a ball. Counts now 0-1. Timpany on first.
Canny in the stretch, fires, tapped foul. think that one crossed up Acreage a little bit.
I think it did hit his bat, but it looked like one of those pitches that could have also hit into him, but I think he went around enough where if it did bounce off his arm, that still would have been a strike.
No, they're calling it 0-2, so it did hit the bat. Acreage, a 308 hitter on the year. Played in 44 games this year, all starts. Got some power, 9 home runs. Tops on the team is Grayson Williams. He has 15. One ball, 2 strikes. Timpany with the lead at first. Acreage waits. Here's the pitch. Curveball, just missing inside.
Looked, it might have dropped a little too low, but again, just some really nasty break on that pitch. Hard to read and hard to track, especially as we saw that pitch with the second strike earlier was, I believe, a fastball, maybe a 2-seam that goes inside and chokes you up a little bit.
You know, you think more about starting Canny for this game. Trying to save an arm. You've got such solid starting pitchers. If you can go get through this game without having to use them, that's great, because they do have a great relief staff, including Braden Nelson, who was named a relief pitcher of the year in the conference. But the other thing is Spring Hill probably did all this research on Tampa's starting pitchers, and this isn't one of them.
Yeah, I mean,
so they're learning on the fly.
And as you mentioned, Caney has had quite a few relief stints, but again, you won't have as much info on the relievers because, again, that's the middle of the game and you'll have to adapt as you go, but that can definitely throw you off on your game plan.
Yeah, you certainly didn't game plan for him
to
start the game. He's gone from 0-2 to 3-2 with 2 outs. Timpany will be running. Canny in the stretch. Here's the pitch. There goes Timpany. Fouled back. We'll do it again.
As the game's progressed, we've seen some more people come to the stands, and
this is a really good crowd considering school's been out for 2 weeks. Both schools well represented.
Get to see a little more family for these games because less students on campus, but you do see a mix of the students sometimes watching their friends if they are local. So always good to see. Count stays full now.
3-2, he steps off. You may have seen it there. He did a kind of a fake throw to first. They're doing that not because he was trying to fool anybody. There is a pitch clock, and when they think they're going to run out of time, they have to make some sort of move to reset the clock. There goes the runner inside. He walked him. Runners now on first and second, back-to-back walks.
That's a second full count walk. Acreage, good job to not bite at that inside fastball. That very easily could have ended the inning or forced a weak ball in play. As now we're going to see a conference on
Sam
the mound.
Militello coming out. Pitching coach here for the Spartans. Been here 22 years, just like Joe Urso. But they want him to just settle down. He went from 0-2 to 3-2 there and then the walk. So just get him to focus again. Let your fielders do the work for you, which is probably what they're also saying to Micah Morgan, is probably a little bit discouraging when you want to let your fielders do it and they throw 2 balls away.
Agreed, because you really can't blame Morgan for a lot of the issues so far. We've seen Tampa get a few good hits and, of course, that home run, but to think this inning would have been a lot shorter and I think a lot less painful for Spring Hill if it hadn't been for those 2 throwing errors that in turn had been able to send 2 runs home.
Yeah, the first one was after first 2 runners got on, was just a basic sacrifice bunt. It should have been 1 out, runners on second and third. It ended up being no outs, 2 runs in, and a runner on second. Brock to the plate, the third baseman, takes a strike call. Cam Brock, 318 on the year. Played in all 51 games this year, started all 51.
So even though Brock, the 8th hitter, not the best batting average in the team, still hitting over 300. That's a great season at the plate.
I mean, that's sad that you say not the best hitter on the team and he's 318.
Exactly. Because, again, for the Spartans, that would probably be an average, get you the middle of the order, or at the very least, definitely as one of the top, I'd say, 5-6 hitters for the Spartans. So
Yep.
that once again shows you just how good Spring Hill has been. Over 3.50 batting average in total for the entire team.
J.D. Urso tops on the Spartans at 397. May have gotten to 400 with that base hit to start the game for Tampa.
Always fun to flirt around 400. That's such a special batting average to get.
Yes. Ground ball. Earhart's going to range a little bit to his left. Gobbles it up. Inning over. So Spring Hill gets a couple on with a couple walks, but that's it. We've played an inning and a half. Still Tampa 6. Spring Hill nothing right here on TampaSpartans.tv.
Welcome to the University of Tampa. My name is Tucker Whitman and I'm a junior marketing major here at UT. Today we're going to look at some of the highlights of our beautiful Riverside campus here in downtown Tampa. We'll start at Plan Hall. This historic building was opened in 1891 as the Tampa Bay Hotel and now serves as the main academic building here at UT, with 4 floors of classrooms as well as faculty and administrative offices. Next up, the Vaughn Center, the hub of campus life and activities. This multi-purpose building includes the campus bookstore, our primary cafeteria plus an additional food court, a theater, as well as offices and meeting rooms for student organizations. The Vaughn Center is also one of UT's residence halls, providing 5 floors of student rooms. Morsani Hall is another residence hall here at UT. In addition to housing approximately 450 students, this building offers another selection of eateries as well as a small grocery store. Now let's check out the Sykes College of Business. This academic building houses classrooms and faculty offices for UT's undergrad and graduate business students. This building also has a real-time stock trading room. Right next door is the Sykes Chapel for Faith and Values. This gorgeous interfaith chapel features a large main hall complete with a massive pipe organ, as well as meditation rooms and meeting rooms. Student healthcare is a major priority for us here at UT. The Dickey Health and Wellness Center is accessible to all students and provides high-quality services including basic medical care, counseling, and wellness programs. On the east side of campus, you'll find the McDonald-Kelsey Library. Here, students can learn from a large collection of books, periodicals, and digital databases. They can also take advantage of our numerous study rooms and computers.
Bottom of the second inning we go. Jordan Lala coming to bat for the second time in this game. He walked in the first inning and scored. Micah Morgan with the first pitch. Strike call. This time Lala at the plate. Nobody on, so he'll be swinging away. He was trying to bunt his way, or sacrifice actually, in the first inning. Ended up getting walked.
And that did advance the runner, so ultimately did the job in that at-bat. And, of course, off that throwing error,
he
Urso
scored.
sent him home, and he did. He went all the way.
And a shot for a base hit. So gets a chance to swing, and he gets a base hit. 4th hit of the day for Tampa. Drew Earhart strides to the plate.
Last time up, Earhart did drop a sacrifice bunt and was able to get 2 RBIs off the throwing error. Although they didn't count as RBIs because
they're not
it was
RBI,
a
they're throwing error, right.
So I know he'll be disappointed that it doesn't go down as RBIs, but, you know, in technicality, you could sort of call it that. It just won't help him when you're looking at official stats of peg back to first.
We used to do that in our City League games. Like, it was 2 RBI. I don't
Obviously,
care.
yeah.
I don't care. If anyone asks, I drove in 2.
And he'll obviously say, it is 2 RBIs. Yeah, I drove them in.
I drove them in.
So I have to wonder if he's going to try to drop another one here down.
Personally, I'm thinking with a 6-0 lead, he's not going to be so worried about small ball.
Exactly.
Joe Urso, anyway.
And, of course, a batter like Earhart, you can trust him to hit pretty well. 5 home runs, 41 RBIs on the season.
Throw over.
And he also has a .333 average and over 800 OPS.
A couple people up in the Spring Hill bullpen. Nobody throwing at the moment, but looks like he's getting ready. There goes the runner. Gets away, and he's going to get to second easily. That's Lala. He'll have to stay at second. That one bounced in the dirt. It was about a 55-foot pitch. And Sears couldn't stop it. So Lala, now, there answers your question on whether they would even think of sacrificing. He's on second anyway.
Exactly. Or, if you really want to, you could try to get him to third with a sacrifice if you want to keep going, but...
That's not usually in Joe's playbook, but...
Yeah, no real need as well with the runner on second.
Right.
That one's going to go in the dirt, and the count will go now to 2-1.
playing Earhart straight away in all fields, not particularly deep. And the pitch. Loops one out to center field. Waiting for it is Ragona. Tagging Lala on his way. Is he going to make it? Yes. Slides in ahead of the throw. And a sac fly for Drew Earhart.
That was a good throw there by Ragona,
It was.
I mean, Urso was able to strike out or round out previously in the last inning. However, Lala from second, able to get to third using his speed, but Ragona made that a close play.
Lala's probably the fastest player on the team. You know, maybe if it was a 100-yard dash, maybe not, but in terms of accelerating for the 90 feet. There's one hit straight away, deep center. Sullivan waits. He has hit his second home run of the day. Another two-run shot from Dan Sullivan, and the Spartans lead 8-0.
Sullivan bringing the power out for the postseason. The Spartans now lead 8-0, as you just said. If the last one, there was any doubt of that home run. This one, none whatsoever.
This was a typical Dan Sullivan home run as compared to the first one. So Dan Sullivan, 2 postseason at-bats this season, 2 two-run homers, 8-0 Tampa.
Maybe Dan Sullivan's a little disappointed. He was only on the second team
Yeah.
for the D2 CCA All-South Region team. A few of his teammates were able to get on the first team, of course, including Pitcher of the Year Hayden Irby, teammates J.D. Urso, E.J. Cumbo, Earhart, and Nelson. Well, he was alongside Lala and Paul, as a few of the other
That's
players,
good
too.
company no matter what, though.
Yeah, and Sullivan, of course, he made the second team. Maybe he's trying to say, hey, there's still time to change it the first team with that 2-home run game.
Yeah, all right, I'll just make all tournament.
Reminds me a little bit of Aaron Judge for the Yankees. After he had missed a home run off the new Camden Yards wall, he then hit 2 home runs back-to-back to complete a 2-home run game. So good stuff from Sullivan. And now we're going to see Lions, who drew a walk last time, get ahead in the count, 2-1.
Jamarcus Lyons to the plate. I was looking down. Usually his grandpa's here. I don't see him. He hits one fairly deep to center. Going back toward the wall. At the wall. A home run for Jamarcus Lyons. 9-0 Tampa.
Back-to-back Jackson. Well, if his grandpa missed this game, that's incredibly disappointing. Obviously, he's watching from home, but it would have been fun for him to see Lions hit a home run in person. Back-to-back Jacks for the Spartans' 3rd home run of the game, and that lead has jumped to 9-0 as we see a few players from and people from Valdosta State and Nova Southeastern in attendance.
Here comes Frank Sims, and I think that's probably it, at least in terms of pitching for Micah Morgan. He may stay in as a fielder.
Or if they
or
give him as
DH.
a DH, because of course he does have that powerful bat, the best bat of the team for Spring Hill. And as you mentioned, he actually has 16 home runs, so he leads the team in that category. But from the mound, not a great day, and I think indeed it will be curtains. He ends the day on 52 pitches and 3 home runs conceded. After that first inning, obviously not a surprise to see that happen.
Coming into pitch, it looks to be number 17.
Jackson short. And so far this season,
You got the stats?
yes, I do.
Okay.
Jackson's short coming in. Just got to,
I've got them here if you need them.
yeah, I've got it right here.
All right.
He's pitched in 5 games, started 17 appearances with a 4.72 ERA and a 1.62 WHIP. 7 wins for the season and no losses. And so far, through 61 innings, he's also gotten 49 strikeouts and 26 walks. So just hovering around a 2-to-1 walk strikeout ratio.
So the Spartans putting up the power. 3 home runs already today. 2 from Dan Sullivan. 2 good innings of starting pitching from Alex Canny. And it's 9-0, and we're only in the second.
We do see some action in the bullpen for the Spartans, and obviously a 9-0 lead.
Now
might
you-
as well give a
now
few
you-
of the longer relievers and lower stress relievers a chance
Save your
to come in
starters.
there. And again, save your starters and big stoppers and closers for the future games, Friday and Saturday,
Yep.
where you're going to be looking to punch a ticket to the Super Regional and beyond. And for Spring Hill, you're looking more of the same. No use in bringing in your superstar relievers here. Just put in maybe one of your weaker players with some stamina and just have them eat 4 or 5 innings no matter what the scoreline is.
Yep.
Because obviously, you could still see a comeback. Spring Hill does average 11 runs a game, but a 9-0 start like this, definitely not what you want to see, but allows your pitchers to run with a little bit of less stress. Maybe you throw a freshman arm on the mound and say, hey, you get a chance to pitch in the tournament.
Yeah.
Don't worry about anything. Just focus on your mechanics and try to get some outs and eat a little bit of time, and we'll come back Friday, Saturday with our good arms.
Want to also mention Frank Sims just came out to the mound and talked to him, and retiring at the end of this season. He wanted me to give a shout-out to his grandkids, who he said would be watching. 4 of them are in South Carolina. 2 of them are in Oregon. He said he assumed they would be watching the game, so we'll say hi to the grandkids for Frank Sims.
And, of course, if you are viewing on Tampa Spartans TV from the Spring Hill perspective, thank you for tuning in. And obviously, stay tuned for future games throughout the tournament. Double elimination, meaning season won't end regardless of what happens today.
Cumbo fouls off the first pitch.
Cumbo was able to get on via throwing error last time.
And make it a base hit this time. Boy, the Spartans just ripping the ball today.
Yeah, and honestly, those are fieldable balls, but just they're able to find it in the holes of the defensive shifts and formations they've been in to get on base.
There are some games, and Daniel, you've seen it during the season, they'll rip the ball, and it's a one-hopper to the shortstop. Or you've seen it with softball. You hit it as hard as you can on the screws, and you get tossed out. Now they're hitting them where they ain't, and they're getting on base.
Exactly, but then you start to wonder, maybe Tampa's using a little bit of those ball and play luck a little bit too early in the tournament, or they might just be able to stay hot throughout the entire thing. Tampa, of course, coming off a loss at the end of their series against Eckerd. They did win that series 2-1 overall, but a disappointing loss to end their regular season. Maybe they're a little bit peeved about that and wanting to take some anger out right here, and they've certainly done that so far.
Inside, gets away. Runner will go down to second base. So, unfortunately, Spring Hill is also helping the Spartans advance runners. That's the second. I'm assuming that'll be a wild pitch.
Yeah, from wild pitches to errors, it's given the Spartans even extra help with, so far, 3 home runs. You don't really need extra help
on
the
not
base
at this
path,
point.
But the Spartans will say, hey, we'll take it. Thank you very much.
I think Frank Sims mentioned, he said the last time we played here, we took a 3-0 lead on Tampa and we're hitting the ball well. And he said, but then about 2 innings later, we committed a couple errors and we were down 5-3. So he said you can't get too overconfident when you take an early lead. Though 9-0 may be asking a lot for a comeback.
Pretty much, and especially...
You're going to need a touchdown and a field goal.
Exactly. That's
come
more
back
of a
in
football
this
score
one.
at this stage of the game. Nunez so far, coincidentally, number 9, not hitting there for the Spartans, but that's the number on the back of his jersey. He actually grounded out last time, but he allowed a runner to get home, so essentially he had a very productive out that gave him an RBI. Now
A little
it's in
bit
the dirt.
low in
He's
the
going to
dirt.
go ahead 3-0. But indeed, if you're a Spartan fan, I think you're really enjoying this start. Just good to see the offense.
Definitely.
And again, that's just what we've seen all season from the Spartans. They can sometimes strike early and get a lot of action. And those back-to-back home runs, always fun to see if you're a home fan. And he's going to get on...
Walk, 4-pitch walk.
4-pitch walk as he's just going to undo his little ankle guard there. As now it's going to be Malcolm, who had a hit earlier in the game, stepping up now with 2 runners on and 1 out.
John Malcolm saw 1 pitch, liked it, got himself a base hit. One thing Tampa will do, we've seen it all year, we've seen it every year, is if you make a mistake, you will pay for it.
Versus boys will pounce on it every single time. And so far, the Badgers, they fumbled a few times, and the Spartans have been right there to capitalize. 2 runners on, here's the 0-0.
Short fires, outside.
A little bit of breaking action, but not enough to tag that outside corner. And so far, with runners on, Tampa 3 for 7 with a 4.29 average. And that's not counting the walks that occasionally occur, or errors that occur in the situations.
.0 on the way. High, towering fly ball, center field again, going back to the wall, way back, and it hits the top of the wall. I think it's a home run. It is.
Home run.
Malcolm with a 3-run shot, and the Spartans lead 12-7. 0-0. That's about all three of those home runs in just about the exact same spot. Malcolm with the 3-run dinger there, and the Spartans up by a dozen.
Painful for Ragona as he almost was able to come up with a robbing catch, but I think it just hit off the wall and missed his glove. He's been doing a good job of still trying to track every single one, but that is home run number 4 for the Spartans, third of the inning. And we were saying a 6-run first inning was great, and with 1 out, they've already gotten 6 in the second.
Man.
That one's going to be taken strike 1. Well, good news for Short as well is, even though there is someone warming up already in the bullpen, obviously, if you're Frank Sims, just tell Short, hey, just go as long as you can until your arm wears out.
Eat up some innings.
There is literally no pressure now. Obviously, even though 12 runs is still technically, because you don't play, you have to play
There's
the
no
entire
mercy
game.
rule.
Yeah, no real mercy rule, especially I think for tournament play. Just go as long as you can. There's literally no pressure. If you concede a dinger, hey, that happens.
I don't think anybody predicted this start for either team.
Yeah, even the very powerful bats for Spring Hill, this would be a stretch to say they'd score 12
Ground
runs.
ball, shortstop, fielded quickly by McClure, 2 down.
Good play by McClure to pick that up.
That's where we were talking about. You hit it on the screws, but if it's right at somebody, all you get is a ground out.
Yeah, and that one was pretty well hit, but for the Spartans, not going to be able to find that to the outfield or for an infield hit.
So
here.
We're in the bottom of the second, and J.D. Urso's up for the 3rd time.
Yeah, it's very rare you get 3 chances at the plate this early. And so far, Urso, 1 for 2,
Fouled
he fouls
off.
that one away as he had flown out last time to right to end the first inning. This is his first at-bat in the second inning, and they were able to go nearly all the way around. If he keeps the inning alive, Lala gets the second at-bat of the inning.
Inside.
Urso, of course, another one of those players to get on the all-region first team. Alongside his teammates further down the order, that one's going to be strike 2.
Can't really see it on TV, but more people streaming into the park as this place filling up nicely.
And if you're coming into the game already for the second inning, you look at the scoreline and say, what did I miss?
How late are we?
Yeah.
That one's hit into the gap. That's going to land off the mitt. The Ragona is down, not getting up. Urso is going to cruise into third with a triple, but I don't know if that hit Ragona in the face. He dove for the ball, went off his mitt, and then I think hit him. And he just stayed down for the duration of the play. Now he's up on his knees. But I tell you, just bad stuff happening for the Spring Hill Badgers.
Yeah, and got to feel for Ragona on that play because he was nearly able to track down that ball with a lot of range.
Yeah, almost a great catch.
Goes down hard, and I think he's back up. Maybe it just took the wind out of him because, again, he had to travel a long distance for that play. And whether the ball did just go off his arm or his head in a weird way, looks like he's shaking it off and back moving. But
they're giving Urso a triple. That'll be hit number 9 for Tampa.
The inning will stay alive, and Lala gets a second chance at the plate. He scored off a single, 2 runs so far from Lala, alongside a walk and a hit.
This will be his 3rd at-bat in just 2 innings. So a little lull in the action as they check out Ragona on the dive of the fly ball to center field. But I tell you what, that guy's been active out there. He's gone to the wall 3 times for home runs. Not able to get it. I thought he almost had the one from Malcolm. I think it hit the yellow bar just out of his outstretched arm. And now he's staying out. Yeah, he's going to stay out.
And it's good to see. You never want an injury. So always good to see him getting back there. Gives it time for a little bit of the infielders and the catcher to come up. Just have a conference with Short and just try to game plan how they want to get the 3rd out of the inning and try to just get through it because already we are 2 p.m. Game started at 1 and we're stuck in the second inning and the bottom half after another pretty long inning. 9 hits for the Spartans. 12 runs have come home off of 4 home runs. So that ball has left the yard quite a few times.
Jordan Lala to the plate now. Spartans, I know it's early, but they are hitting .643 for this game. They are 9 for 14. More hits than outs have been recorded.
And that's always a great start because, even though you said it's early, we've already got quite a large sample size
That's a
to take a look at
phenomenal
how many times they've come to the plate.
They are 4 for 8 with runners in scoring position.
Entering their third time through the order after that foul ball. Count now at 0-2 for Lala still.
Now, I know it's still early, and we've talked about whether Joe Urso will change pitchers. I would not be surprised. I think he's got a pitcher ready to come in for Canny. Ground ball out to short. McClure fields it, bobbles it, throws it. Threw it away. Run scores, make it a baker's dozen for Tampa. Lala stays at first, is not able to advance. But McClure bobbled it and then hurried his throw and out of the reach of the first baseman, Williams. And that is a third error in the game. And now 13-0 Tampa.
And again, just things going bad to us or Spring Hill. Another error, and that'll give the Spartans another run, which honestly, they don't really need at this point, but they'll, again, gladly take it. Runner on, one out. As we're going to see Earhart, his third at-bat. And
he gets hit. He gets hit on a curveball. So we've seen the Spartans reach base in every way possible except a balk, I think.
Yeah, and even so, there's still time for that to happen. We've seen home runs. We've seen 3 errors. We've seen hits galore, 9 so far.
We've seen triples. I don't think we've seen a double, but...
I think we did see a double once or twice before.
No, I don't think so. I think we saw a triple.
Well, it didn't come from Dan Sullivan. He took a double and doubled it 2 times in a row. He's hit 2 home runs for 2 RBIs. And so for total in the game, Sullivan, 4 RBIs on 2 home runs. Absolutely legendary stuff, and now that's a chance to bat again in the bottom half of the second inning with 2 runners on and 2 outs. First pitch here from short.
So what's going to happen with Sullivan this time? Do you think he's aware of what he's done today?
I think so, and I have a feeling that Short's very aware. I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised if he's just very cautious pitching around, not wanting to risk another one.
So 2 outs, 2 on. Sullivan already with 2 home runs in the second inning. The pitch. And he hits another deep one. That is way back. A third home run for Dan Sullivan. This time a 3-run shot. It hit the top of the scoreboard, and Tampa leads 16-0.
See ya on that shot. 16 runs in 2 innings. And I think Tampa may have heard the saying, oh yeah, these Spring Hill bats are really good. Now, let's show Jack and Taylor what we're all about with the bats. 3 home runs. He gets the chain.
That's 7 RBI today for Dan Sullivan, and we're in the second.
Runs. Half of the team runs have come from one man alone. Sullivan, take a bow. It's been 2 innings, but what a day.
You can only laugh, I think, at this point.
I think so, and we do, just
It got Daniel out of his seat. Yeah. He had to stand up.
That's just one of those you just have to say, oh, man.
Yeah. 5 home runs today for Tampa.
And that is the third, I believe, of the inning. Of course, Lyons, once he was up earlier, he had a home run back-to-back, and it's his second at-bat of the inning.
Is this the 4th home run of the inning? Was that 4?
No, I think it is 3. I think there might have been 2 in the first.
Sullivan homered in the first.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
It was, I think
3 this
Sullivan
inning.
in the first. Might have been Cumbo as well. I'm not fully
That
sure.
is hit.
Oh,
Look out. That is gone. Another home run. This time for Jamarcus Lyons, his 2nd of the game.
We're supposed to be for
and
Tampa.
It is 17-0.
God, we're supposed to be cheering for Tampa, but at this point you gotta feel terrible. 17-0, another back-to-back jack. Maybe after that second out, Spring Hill was hoping they could get out of the inning, but no.
Well, you can't tell Tampa to back off.
No, indeed.
Nobody in their right mind would say, all right, I'm just going to flail at a couple of these. Here comes Frank Sims.
Yeah.
And I got another pitching change coming up.
And
so
I don't blame him because that's 2 home runs in a row. Obviously, at that point.
2nd back-to-back home runs.
Of the inning, not just of the game. Of the inning, because we're now back to the 6
home run number
here.
6.
Cumbo now a chance with 2 outs here to try to keep this going. We won't have enough room on the scoreboard for that run.
No, we don't. We'll get to the relief pitcher coming in. We're gonna step out while he warms up. It's 17-0, 2nd inning. on TampaSpartans.tv.
This is the University of Tampa. UT students travel from across the nation and around the globe to join a dynamic learning community. There are 150 academic programs, continuing studies for non-traditional students, and a highly ranked graduate school. NCAA Division II athletics program. The UT experience begins with an innovative first-year program and continues with opportunities to challenge yourself in the honors program, to study.
All right, welcome back. This is not the resurrection of UT football from the 80s. It's 17-0, not in the second quarter. It's the second inning.
Yeah, and
as the Spartans have exploded against Spring Hill in this first game of the NCAA South Regional. Matter of fact, we're only in the second inning and a pinch hitter coming up for Tampa.
Indeed, graduate student
Luke Glancy.
He's stepping up here.
Started most of the season, but now he's coming in as a pinch hitter.
And you might as well bring in a pinch hitter so far because...
Coming in for Nunez.
Give him a little bit of chance to get some tournament action. Wonder if some of the freshman players...
Actually, I take that back. He's coming in for Cumbo. So Joe Urso is going to take this opportunity to rest players, but the thing is, he rests a great player and puts in a really good player.
Yeah, and that's just a curse, or a blessing, I'd say, of having good depth. Well, curse if you're a fan of Spring Hill, and a blessing if you're a Spartan fan, because you can just go to the bench and find another really good player. Glancy, 0-1. That one's going to be outside. Count goes to 2-1.
This is Matthew Del Cambre coming in as an ERA of 8.1. No record at this point, 11 appearances, 1 start. And there's a pop-up down the line. It's going to stay fair. Cruising over shortstop McClure, dropped it. Boy, oh boy, whatever can go wrong is going wrong for Spring Hill today.
All I have to say is, what bad luck charm did Spring Hill do? Because there's bad games, and then there's this, and this is just honestly...
Well, you know what? Get it out of your system now.
Agreed. Yes, concede all the runs you're going to concede throughout the entire tournament here.
Yeah. And
try to come back. As I will say, an interesting stat line, throughout the entirety of their conference tournament, Spring Hill only conceded a total of 19 runs in 4 games. And so far here, it's taken just 2 innings to
17.
Creep very close to that amount. And I wonder, do we have another pinch hitter here, or is it indeed going to be Nunez ready to go? Swing and a miss, it is Nunez.
Yeah, okay.
So far, Nunez grounded out for an RBI and got on base and scored via walk.
But I think you'll start seeing more changes. Rest them while you got them.
Agreed. I mean, in a 17-run lead, I'd argue that's a pretty safe resting period to get some people some extra action.
Now, another reason to not pitch Canny in the third is he's been sitting for about 30 minutes.
Agreed. And that arm...
Granted, whoever's going to relieve him has been sitting for 30 minutes because nobody's warmed up since the Spartans were last on the field, but I have a feeling Canny will not come out for the third ground ball foul.
I wonder if they're going to just bring him back out to the bullpen again, just get a few extra throws and just say, hey, just make sure that we're
With two outs, probably
not.
Too late.
Unless, of course, we see this inning stay alive, because we've been on 2 outs for quite a bit of time.
True.
Runner off first, Glancy with Nunez back there. Nunez hoping to stay alive. Trying to get his first official hit of the game, but he does already have 1 run batted in. And here's Del Cabra from the stretch.
And that is hit. Going deep, going deep, going deep. A 7th home run for Tampa today. A 2-run shot, and it is 19-0.
So you know what we said they had conceded 19 runs in a 4-game stretch?
Now in two innings.
Yeah, just 2 innings.
Inning and 2/3.
Yeah, 1 2/3 innings, and they've already done that. And a little bit less enthusiasm from the Spartans bench. That's the second
They're
time
getting tired of this.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they just give a teammate the silent treatment next time from the dugout.
Right.
But Nunez gets a home run here, and
Spartans do have the home run necklace, so somebody has to at least come out and present that. But Nunez just cranked one out of the ballpark. And it is his 2nd home run of the year. John Malcolm to the plate. He hit one out his last time. He hits one to straightaway center, going back near the wall, off the wall, doesn't leave the park. Malcolm is heading for second. He is going to make it with a stand-up double. There's our double.
Yeah, that one's too dead center for his liking, because if that was on the left or right, that could
Gone.
have left the park again.
Yeah.
And Nunez, a good job here to get on base, get a double, keep the inning alive. I mean, the Spartans don't need the inning to stay alive, but they're not going to let it die. They've already doubled their run total in the 2nd inning. They've scored 13 runs. And
13 runs.
Again, we're a Tampa broadcast, but even this is just, you could say it's a little bit overkill.
Yeah.
It's almost to the point you want to apologize for a few of the Springfield viewers who might be tuning in here. Obviously, of course, stay tuned for the rest of the game and rest of the series. They'll be playing at the very least on Friday, one other game. To take some words of advice from Ted Lasso after this game today, be like a goldfish. Forget this game ever happened and just go into the next game.
Yeah.
The elimination game with hey, we've still got to play 9 more innings no matter what happens here. That first pitch taken, ball 1 to Rulai. He's 0 for 2 with 2 groundouts.
So I think basically Spring Hill's just got to say, hey, if we're going to screw up, do it all in the same game. Let's live for another day. That's a strike call. I hate to say it, but J.D. Urso's on deck for the 3rd time this inning.
Yeah, 3rd time this inning,
4th time today.
Second time this inning, 4th time of the game, because he was
That's right, he did bat around in the first.
But then that would put Lala for his 3rd at bat of the inning.
Ball outside.
And yeah, Spartans already 20 batters so far that haven't gotten on base via walks.
They are 13 of 20. A .650 batting average for this game.
And, of course, you have to count those 4 errors that go down as
unfortunately, yeah.
hits. So that brings the total closer to around 17 to 20. And 6 and 11 with runners on, 5 and 10 runners in scoring position. As someone who's watched a lot of softball and watched bases loaded get stranded time after time, this feels a little bit cathartic to just watch a lot of runs come home. But even this feels like a little bit of overkill.
There's a ball. He walked him, so Urso comes to the plate again.
So far, we've basically had a full game of at-bats for Urso. We've seen him
this is his 4th.
3 times up, 2 hits so far, and he was able to get a triple and a single. We're actually getting to the cycle territory. The home runs the Spartans have hit, maybe that's more likely than not.
Urso does have some dingers this year. He's got 4. He went through a stretch earlier in the year where he was cranking them out every weekend. Got hurt. Had surgery on his hand. And I'll be honest with you, since he's come back, the Spartans have been darn close to a red-hot team.
I mean, at this point now you could say they definitely are a red-hot team with how many runs they've scored so far. And they have come off a pretty strong run. 2-1 series wins a great way to enter a tournament, even if you do come off a 6-4 loss in your final game of the season.
I think they were just glad to get the season done. They didn't have anything else to prove.
And just rest some players and just get ready for the high-pressure games. But this one, I don't think there's any pressure left.
Not now.
And now we're going to get the 1-1 now to Urso.
And he grounds it. That's a base hit. May score a run. No, Joe holds him up. Bases will be loaded.
Might as well just keep the bases loaded. No need to try for another run
No.
here. And now we're going to see Lala come up again.
You're not trying to rub it in anybody's faces if they score because they have to.
Agreed. I mean, at this point, if Lala is able to turn this ball and turn it deep and bring some runs home, the dugout will just give some silent high fives. No need to try to milk it in. And so far, Lala, he's had his third at-bat this inning. Reached on an error, reached on a single, scored every single time.
Now, you got to wonder if Valdosta State and Nova Southeastern are saying, why did we get here so early?
Yeah, that's a big question as well. And they probably already have enough footage for Tampa's batters so far that they'll be ready to go when they face them, likely tomorrow. And obviously, it's still not confirmed, but you have to assume that Tampa will probably be playing the early game.
And so Tampa will play the Valdosta State Nova Southeastern winner at about 5 o'clock tomorrow. There's a ground ball. That may get through. It does. Run scores. And
Second
Joe's going to send him home.
And there's a bobble, so it's going to clear
All
the bases.
3 runners will score. This is now getting a little bit ridiculous as it's 22-0 Tampa.
I don't know. I felt it was a little bit ridiculous when we broke the 10-run rule
This is
for
true.
this inning.
This is
now
true.
we've got 16 runs. Tampa leads 22-0.
I guess it took me a while to concede that, but a 16-run inning. We thought 6 was amazing. Daniel's just trying not to laugh out loud.
God, this feels like, because Formula One, you get 25 points for winning. We're nearly 25 points even though they're runs, not points, I don't even know. I'm trying to dig out any other sport to compare it to because even this is ludicrous for a football score.
Yes.
You rarely see a team go up this high with no points or runs conceded. And I do apologize. I'm thinking too much about football and stuff for saying points, but 22-0, 2 outs.
And that one's hit out into center field. That's going to be caught. McClure waits, makes the catch. The inning is over.
Finally over. Do you even need to say 12 hits, 3 errors, and 16 runs for the Spartans?
All right. You did the math for me. Thank you. We're going to take a break. It is 22-0 Tampa after 2 on TampaSpartans.tv.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby. Inside the 30. Touchdown. Michaela Burgess.
An incredible finish by Hall. The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org/opportunity.
Okay. All right, folks, we are finally in the third inning. An hour and a half into this ball game. Spartans have made a pitching change. Michael DeMoe coming in for Tampa. Alex Canny's day done after 2 innings, fouled back by Sears. For DeMoe this year, this will be appearance number 11. Started one. He's got a record of 1-0. 13 and a third innings pitched. 8 hits, 5 runs, 2 earned. Walked 7, struck out 11 on the year. And yes, what you see on the monitor is correct. It is 22-0 Tampa after 2 innings. If you were here at the ballpark, the scoreboard in the outfield, there's a strikeout, Sears goes down. If you were to look at the scoreboard in the outfield, it's showing an 18-0 game because the scoreboard cannot do, for an individual inning, cannot do double digits. So even though the Spartans scored 6 in the first, the scoreboard's showing that they scored 9 in the first and 9 in the second, even though it was 6 in the first and 16 in the second. There's one fairly deep, but caught by Lala for the second out. So all they're doing on the scoreboard is they can't put double digits up, so they put as much as they can, and hopefully they'll catch up and be able to do it correctly, though they'll never be able to put up the 16 for the second inning. Tom Colby says that the most the Spartans have ever scored in the NCAA tournament game is 21, which they scored against Stillman in 2008. They have exceeded that in 2 innings today.
Yeah, I mean, if you were a Tampa fan and just hoping that this team could get a good start to the tournament, I don't even think you would ever dream of this. This is something that would be too hard to do on Rookie Mode in MLB The Show.
Yeah.
To put up 22 runs like this in 2 innings.
It was a video game.
Yeah, video game numbers and numbers that even go out of the video game. That one's going to be fouled
off.
Goes out of play, though.
So 2 outs quickly in the third inning and a 1-1 count to Grayson Williams. But as we said, just get this game out of your system, live for another day, and play tomorrow.
Exactly.
And that's
Be
Spring
a
Hill
goldfish. Forget
goal.
this game, and again, you do get to play tomorrow, which is going to be important. You get a little extra time to rest. You don't play early tomorrow. You play a little bit later, if I recall correctly.
Fouled back.
And of course, Spring Hill didn't roll out their best pitcher. Obviously, Michael Morgan's arguably their best hitter, but he hadn't started too much in the season. So, you do still have the aces of your rotation yet to go for the next few games. And here, just bring in as many people from the bullpen as you can and try to just go as long as you can. That pitch is going to be taken ball 2.
So the schedule for tomorrow, the losers of the 2 games today will play at noon. The winners of the 2 games today play at 4. Fly ball, Lala tracing it back toward the wall in center, has room, makes the catch, ends the inning. So we played 2.5, nothing across, no runs, no hits, no errors, no one left. 2.5 done, 22-0 Tampa on TampaSpartans.tv.
This is the University of Tampa. Explore your dreams. Discover your talents. Get ready to invent, innovate, and be a leader. This is the University of Tampa.
Bottom of the third. New pitcher in for Spring Hill as they go deep into the bullpen, bringing in Solon White, 7.8 ERA, 0-3 on the year, 15th appearance, and has started 9 games this year, coming in relief here. 30 innings pitched, 32 hits, 39 runs, 27 of them earned, walked 30, struck out 24. We've talked about the 2-to-1 ratio. His is under 0.5.
That's not always great, but I think at this point...
And by the way, Dan Sullivan is at the plate.
Yep, and Dan Sullivan's had a great game so far. But at this point, if you're Spring Hill, you just want to get a pitcher who can, tire out his arm a little bit and just go some distance. Because at this point of the game, you're just trying to make sure the game is done. Because as we checked, I don't believe there's a mercy rule.
No, there is not. No.
That
is hit.
No.
That one's not going to leave the park for Sullivan. Deep into center field, though, McClure makes the catch, or Ragona, I should say, makes the catch. Dan Sullivan is retired for the first time today. And you say, what's the big deal? It's only the third inning?
Yeah.
He had 3 at-bats before this, 3 home runs, 2 2-run shots, a 3-run shot, 7 RBI, and he finally just flies out to fairly deep center field anyway.
That one had some distance, but just a little too high. Looked a lot like that first home run that was just very barely a fair ball.
That might have been the same depth. He just hit this one to center.
Yeah, and
instead of down the line.
Difference because center just a little bit further down, and that'll turn what could have been a nice little home run number 4 into the first out of the inning. Now up his Lions. His last 2 at-bats have been home runs.
7 in the game for Tampa. Ground ball. That may be tough. Fielding it is McClure. The throw. Got him. First time today, the Spartans have made back-to-back outs.
Slow start to this inning for the Spartans, but they're not going to be disappointed at all. But for Lions, he nearly was able to run that out. A good recovery there by McClure to make the play in time.
Luke Glancy to the plate. He came in as a pinch hitter last inning, so what did he do? He hit a home run. Or no, am I wrong there?
So he reached first on a dropped fly, so an error.
Okay, that's right. That's right. It was down the...
it was down the
left field line. Yep.
It looked like it was going to be a fly out, but it allowed him to get on base. And he's going to foul that one away. Count at 0-1.
Okay. Most home runs the Spartans have hit. There's a ground ball. Hits the bag. It's a fair ball. And Glancy will get to first. I think he's going to stay. He does. Boy, I tell you what. Now, again, we've said whatever can go wrong has gone wrong. That one hit the base. Williams was in position to make the play, and it hopped over him when it hit the base.
Yeah, Williams did a great play trying to get down. He was reading that ball perfectly. Instead, it just rolls off the bag and, just jumps a little bit into the air, gets into the outfield. So another little awkward hit for Glancy to get on base. But he will. It's the first hit of the inning for the Spartans, and that brings up Nunez. And, hey, guess what Nunez did in his last at-bat?
Home run. 7 home runs. We just checked. The Spartans' most in a game is 9. You have to go back to 1993, pre-Joe Urso. This may be, we don't know if that was regular season just all time or tournament play. Regardless, it's impressive. So the Spartans do not go down 1-2-3.
And I'll be disappointed for Spring Hill, but they do have the luxury now of having 2 outs and a chance to try to end the inning without a lot of damage. That one's going to be a strike called, and that count's going to go 2-1 now.
Dan Sullivan with 3 home runs equals the most hit by a Spartan. Jose Jimenez, his first base coach, one of 3 Spartans to have accomplished that. So if Dan hits another one, will Jose give him a high five on the way around the bag?
Foul ball. Foul, but is it in play?
And no, foul's out of play. Little awkward setup here with the foul ball territory near the dugouts, as it kind of goes back after you get past the dugout, and so you can run behind almost behind the dugout before you're actually out of play. That one did go out of play anyway.
Gives you a little bit more range to try to make those plays happen, but obviously when a ball goes there, it's a lot harder to get. Now here's the 2-2 now to Nunez, hoping to keep the inning alive.
And the pitch. Swing and a miss in the dirt. You're going to have to throw to first. Inning over. Hey, Spartans do not score. We've played 3. It is 22-0 Tampa on TampaSpartans.tv.
College sports.
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
A return to normal, and all we love about sports.
You've instilled resilience, focus, and selflessness in us. We've put those lessons to work.
We've found strength and unity in each other.
You continue to take us places we never imagined.
You bring out the best in us.
So when we look forward, we see the light at the end of the tunnel.
We see a better world for all of us and for college sports.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby. Inside the 30. Touchdown. Michaela Burgess.
An incredible finish by Hall. The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org/opportunity.
We move to the fourth. We're making progress. 22-0 Tampa. Spartans, I believe, have made a couple changes. Glancy, we said, is already... that's the only change I see. Michael DeMoe is still on the mound. Thought they announced a change, but I don't see a change. Lions, Lala, Glancy, now the outfield. Sullivan, Earhart, Nunez.
Oh, we actually do have one change ready.
Well, just change it.
Kian Knutson now in left field.
Knutson into the ball game. One of the promising freshmen on the team.
And good to get them some playoff experience as well if you're a freshman.
He's played well. He's a spot player. A promising freshman, has gotten his chances.
He's got a chance to keep the good times rolling.
And another local product as well. Kian Knutson in for Jamarcus Lyons. So Jamarcus has to be happy with only hitting 2 home runs today.
Indeed.
That one's hit. Might be in the gap. Going toward the wall. One hop. Cut off by Lala. And he holds Morgan, who was the pitcher, but now the DH, to a long single. Nice job by Lala. He got that one. It hit just in front of the warning track, and he was able to stop it before it actually hit the wall, and that kept Morgan to a single. But that is, by the way, the first hit of the game for Spring Hill. We were talking so much about the Spartans. The Badgers had yet to get a hit.
Yeah, so it's good for the Badgers finally getting on the hit column. But again, a great play from Lala, showcasing his speed and range to keep Morgan at first. So now there is a runner on with no outs. Swing and a miss there. That one really choked him up.
Yeah, and he kind of corkscrewed himself on that one. Spring Hill did have 2 runners earlier in the game on back-to-back walks by Canny, but that is the first base hit of the ball game. And the lefty DeMoe fires. Tap foul. Valdosta State, Nova Southeastern, set to meet up in the nightcap, starting at about 5, or probably 30 to 45 minutes after this one ends. At least gave it a 4-hour gap in between games. During the regular season, they always make it a 3-hour gap, and they never get done in time. They don't play 2.5-hour games.
I mean, this one we already saw nearly an hour and a half so far, as we are still in the top of the 4th inning, and indeed, it actually has been an hour and 35 minutes since the game started, and we are only getting around to halfway through just about now. So, still have quite a bit of baseball left to be played.
Popped up. They should have a play on it, drifting over into foul territory. Nunez can't get it. Yeah, technically halfway will not be until halfway through the 5th inning. So we're actually more than an inning away from what could be the halfway point.
So we'll have to just keep an eye out on if that game might need to be pushed back a tiny bit for Nova Southeastern and Valdosta State. But for now,
and Tampa, I guess we could presumptively say we'll play the winner of that game.
Yep. There's still time, but 22 runs is definitely a little bit hard to come back from.
That would probably have us scurrying for the record books again.
Yeah, I mean,
the first team to overcome a 22-run deficit.
Indeed, at that point, it would, I think, also probably be the highest scoring game in
wow.
NCAA history, I'd argue.
DeMo is set, the 2-2 pitch on the way. Off speed, a little bit high, 3-2. The luxury that Joe Urso is getting from this game, he can sub some players in. He can not have to go to his big triumvirate of starters. Probably won't need to put Braden Nelson into the game, the conference relief pitcher of the year. Ball in the dirt, that's a walk.
That actually called for strike 3.
Oh, called strike 3, okay. I thought he was walking down. It looked low, but who am I to say?
Yeah,
I'm a long ways away.
We've got a tougher view from the booth. That's why we always got to trust the umpires. They're right on the spot. Because remember, we thought that home run in the first inning was a little bit foul.
Yeah, I thought it looked foul.
So that's why they get paid the bucks to play in the field, and we're just up here.
I'm just paid to talk.
Yeah, we give them a little bit of entertainment. Although so far the Spartans have had some pretty entertaining bats. That's
ground ball, Nunez. The 5-4-3 double play gets out of the inning as the Spartans turn that one quickly. Sharply hit ground ball by Sweeney, and Nunez to Earhart to Sullivan ends the inning. They do get a hit, but that's it. We've played 3.5. It's 22-0 Tampa on TampaSpartans.tv.
So we are back at the University of Tampa for the first game of the NCAA South Regional for Division II baseball, and so far, Jack, it's been an incredibly exciting game, if you're a Spartans fan.
Yes, 22-0. We've just seen every conceivable thing. What do we say? The only thing we haven't seen is a balk?
Well, so far from Malcolm, we've seen everything except a triple.
A triple.
He's gotten a single, a double, and a home run.
As they say, that is the hardest of the cycle to hit. Malcolm has the speed, could do it. Spartans do have a triple today. J.D. Urso picking up a triple earlier. Tampa with the lead. 7 home runs today. The school record is 9. 3 home runs for Dan Sullivan, equaling the school record set by Jose Jimenez, the coach. There's a base hit. Now, if he lets it go through, he could get a triple. No, he doesn't.
He won't.
That game with Jimenez, hitting 3 home runs, he had 10 RBI in that game, as Dan Sullivan with 7 in this game. Spartans, a change is Kirk is now in center field for Spring Hill Badgers, replacing Regano, who had a lot of activity in center field. Saw 3 or 4 home runs go over him. Had a ball bounce off his mitt and hit him in the face, took him down, which is a triple. Had I think maybe 2 routine flyouts. Nothing has been easy out there. Rulai to the plate, the number 9 hitter in the order, coming up for the 4th time. And we're in the 4th inning.
So we're going to see Rulai get ahead at 2-0 on the count. And so far, he grounded out and get on base via 2 walks so far. He's got great discipline and a good eye. And swings and a miss right there. So that'll go to 2-1.
Two balls, one strike. White on the mound for the Badgers. Check swing, strike call, 2-2. Playing Rulai relatively deep.
I think at this point, Spring Hill just wants to make sure they're in front of any balls in the outfield and just prevent runners from turning extra bases and getting runners in deeper scoring positions.
There's one blooping it out toward right center. It's going to diving catch, not made. That's going to send Rulai to second, Malcolm to third. That'll go down as a double as Kirk is finding out what Regano went through in the first 3 innings of this game. Nothing is easy.
It isn't indeed. The outfield having to do a lot of work, and painfully for them, quite a few of those balls that go into the outfield were just unplayable, whether they hit the ground or left the park. And now we're going to see the top of the order again for the Spartans. Urso, 4 at-bats so far. 2 singles, a triple, and a flyout.
Just your routine 3-for-4 day.
And still, only in the bottom half of the 4th inning, so we could see him get on base once or twice more, depending on how active these Spartan bats continue. And so far, with no outs in the bottom of the 4th inning, they've already got 2 more runners on.
2 on. There's a ball low. We've seen this situation before with a couple runners on and no outs. Last inning was the first clean inning for Spring Hill. That one is hit down the line. That's going to fall in for a base hit. That'll send 2 to the plate. Spartans will take a 24-0 lead. Base hit for Urso. He's 4 for 5 on the day.
He stays at 1. It could have been a double to help his chances of getting the cycle, since he did get the hardest one out of the way.
That's true.
But Sweeney brings it in quick enough to keep him at first. Gets the job done to bring 2 more runs home, and Spartans now lead by 3 touchdowns and 2-point conversions.
There is no doubt that his batting average is now over 400.
Indeed.
With 2 for 3 day. It was 397 coming in.
Yeah, and 4 for 5, that'll definitely help you out even more in that front, too. First pitch is going to be taken by Lala outside. And so far, Lala has gone on base via walk, single, error, as well as another single.
Scored 3 runs.
Yep.
Driven in a couple.
And apart from, maybe a home run, he's gone on base pretty much every conceivable way in the book so far.
Fouled down the line, out of play. If you look at the ballpark here in Tampa, if you've never been here, you can see the outfield wall with some of the red banners on it. You can see the yellow top of the outfield wall. But what you might notice out there, there's some big poles extending above that outfield wall, like way above the outfield wall. They call this the beehive here, is about 100-foot tall poles surround this ballpark with netting, because we're right in the middle of campus and a couple busy streets, and they're doing whatever they can to keep balls from sailing into dorms, sailing onto busy streets. They can't always do it, but that's why this whole ballpark is encircled by about 100-foot high netting.
I will say it does its job for the most part. We haven't seen any balls leave that today. A few foul balls have gotten close, but so far, no one walking by or driving by has needed to swerve out of the way of any errant balls.
It's happened before, though. Ball outside and a walk.
Lala gets a second walk of the day, and that is going to bring up Earhart, one of the only Spartans to not have a single hit. He's gotten on base via hit by pitch, an error, and it might have been actually 2 errors that he's been able to get on from as well. He had 3 at-bats in the 2nd inning. He didn't have a chance in the 3rd inning since that was relatively quick, but Earhart this season, of course, one of the best Spartan bats. 5 home runs, 41 RBIs. That number isn't actually higher today. He's going to foul that one off, but he's been hitting well, and his average It's one of the only Spartans who won't be improving so far.
0-1 count, 2 on. Nobody out, already 2 runs in this inning. This is the most runs the Spartans have ever scored in an NCAA tournament game. Having to go back to 1993 when they scored 21.
The only danger, of course, that you have for the Spartans is
I'll take that back, 2008.
If you've already scored all the runs you're going to score throughout the entire tournament today. But Spartans' bats have been super good, super strong all season. And I doubt that this will be all they can muster. We'll have to see what they can do on Friday and Saturday.
No, there's no way this team rests on its laurels. And
of course.
At this point in the game, it's like we're not really trying to crush the ball. We're just players who hit the ball if you throw it near us. That one's fairly deep, drifting back near the wall, caught in right field. Runner Urso goes to third. Lala stays at first, and the catch by Akridge. And that's the first out of the inning, and Dan Sullivan, 3 home runs, 7 RBI, has hit the ball well all 4 times to the plate. If he does hit another home run, it would be a Spartan record for most home runs in a game by a single player.
And would be his 10th RBI to equal his hitting coach's, or first base coach, Jose Jimenez, who's the recruiting coordinator as well for the team. So that would be pretty special. Him and his coach could bond over that moment as the home run record is shattered.
Ground ball, base hit. Keeps hitting.
Get another RBI, but it won't be a home run. Runner's going to get to third. Runners stay at the corners. Spartans now get number 25.
So first and third now with 1 out. And I believe we have a pinch hitter coming up, number 31, striding to the plate for Tampa. It is Knutson for his first at-bat. He came in as a defensive replacement last inning in left field.
And another interesting milestone here broken. Spartans, 20 hits so far in the game. With that one, thanks to Sullivan, first pitch is going to be taken high and inside, ball 1. And we do thank you for tuning in to Tampa Spartans TV. And of course, stay tuned for future games. If you're a fan of Spring Hill, you will be playing tomorrow, a little bit later, or potentially early if they do somehow muster 26 at least.
It's a noon game for the losers tomorrow.
New game for the losers.
Yes.
So Spartans get playing a little bit later
4
tomorrow.
o'clock game tomorrow. Knutson comes in at a .294 average. Played in 29 games this year. Fouls that one off.
So Knutson, of course, listed as a freshman here. Getting a good chance at the playoffs. The runner's in scoring position. He'd love to get a little bit of RBIs here. If they could bring both home, he'd be ecstatic. If he could bring one home, he'd be happy to celebrate a little playoff debut. Here's now the 1.
Fouled off.
2 as that one's fouled away.
So runners on the corners. Spartans have pushed 3 across this inning.
Of course, every inning against except for the third, they've been able to bring home multiple RBIs. The third one was where Spring Hill was able to keep the Spartans relatively quiet. But here so far, they've started. Fouled away.
Off. There
Still a beautiful day.
is a pitcher waiting in the bullpen for Spring Hill, not throwing at the moment. Spartans have a pitcher stretching in the bullpen. Wouldn't be surprised if they'll make a couple changes before the inning is over. There's a ball, bounces away, nobody moves up. Luke Glancy on deck for the Spartans. Knutson back in the box with a 2-2 count, 1 out.
White ready to go.
Swing and a miss, 2-2. There's a strikeout, I should say. And it'll bring Glancy to the plate with 2 outs.
And so far for the Spartans, that's actually only their second strikeout of the game, and that is the second one for Stolen White. White's done a good job coming in from the bullpen. He's conceded 3 runs, but 2 strikeouts, and he's gotten through a full inning and 2/3. looking to get his second full inning of work done and dusted here, facing off against Glancy, who came in as a pinch hitter and is already 1 for 2, a single, and reached on error.
First pitch a little bit outside. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike, now 2 outs. White is ready. Swing and a miss upstairs this time. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the pitch. In the dirt. Nice block by Sears.
Two is Glancy able to stay alive after that ball.
White with a long look, now into the stretch. 2-2 on the way with 2 out. Outside will go full.
Good eye by Glancy and good discipline to not go for that one. Those pitches that look like they're fast, but sometimes breaking outside can be hard and easy to swing at, but even in a game like this, he's still able to keep it calm and stay alive. Count is now full with 2 outs.
And the pitch. Ground ball out to second, gets past the second baseman. Runner will score. We'll see if they give him an error or a hit on that one. It was hit right to Timpany, and they're going to call it a hit. So Glancy with the base hit gets the RBI. Spartans up 26-0 now, and runners still at first and third with 2 outs, and Anthony Nunez now to the plate.
And you mentioned earlier what feels like forever ago, Tampa had a Baker's dozen. Well, now they've got 2 Baker's dozen.
Yeah.
And Nunez is going to be back up. He'd struck out last time, but hit a home run and had a walk in his previous 2 at-bats.
Whoa, that one was almost behind him. Good block by Sears.
Good job by Sears so far. Just make sure that balls haven't been escaping.
He was playing goalie on that one. By the way, the Lightning play tonight, I believe. Yes.
Vasilevsky had a great time in the Game 7 against Toronto.
There's one ripped. That's going to be extra bases. Nunez sends it bouncing all the way to the wall. 1 run scores. That's Sullivan. Going to third is Glancy, and into second is Nunez, and the Spartans now lead 27-0.
The first, second, and now 4th innings, the Spartans have had 5 runs in each inning. Just an offensive fireworks of display. It feels like 4th of July.
Just crooked numbers, and a pitching change more than likely coming up as Frank Sims to the mound. I think he's eventually going to wear a path there.
46 pitches so far for White. He's honestly fared the best of any pitcher so far for Spring Hill, but it looks like that'll be his day done and dusted.
All right, we're going to let the relief pitcher come in. We'll take a break and come back right after this on TampaSpartans.tv.
This is the University of Tampa. Explore your dreams. Discover your talents. Get ready to invent, innovate, and be a leader. This is the University of Tampa.
Pitching change complete for Spring Hill. They're bringing in Alex Holtz, a left-hander from Fort Walton Beach, Florida. And on the year, Holtz comes in with a 6.26 ERA, 2-1 on the year. And his 15th appearance of the year, started 2 of them. And for the year, 27 1/3 innings pitched, 32 hits, 22 runs, only 10 of them earned. Walked 13, struck out 23 on the year, and his first batter will be John Malcolm with runners at second and third. Malcolm's having a heck of a day in his own right.
Yeah, so far Malcolm a triple away from the cycle.
Got a chance, to get that triple again.
That'll be tricky, but if the base runners do give him the space to do so, if he gets into the outfield.
Well, being a lefty, to me, you've got a better chance of getting a triple. Because you put it down the right field line, it's a longer throw to get you at third. Malcolm's speedy. I mean, he has to put it in the right place.
Exactly, and he also has to do it now against a left-handed pitcher, so he's got the platoon disadvantage here. But so far, he's 4 for 4. He's been the best hitter for the Spartans. So safe to say that platoon disadvantage might not be affecting him too badly at the moment.
No. Probably not.
Alongside those hits, he's also scored 3 times with 3 runs. One of them, of course, coming off a 3-run shot. Back in the second inning where he had 2 at-bats.
2-1, Holtz fires, swing and a miss, 2-2. Glancy on third. Nunez on second. 2 outs in the fourth. Spartans have put up crooked numbers in every inning but one. They did not score in the third. Swing and a miss. Inning is over. Spartans get only 5 this inning and take a 27-0 lead into the top of the 5th. You're watching right here on TampaSpartans.tv.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby. Inside the 30. Touchdown. Michaela Burgess.
Incredible finish by Hall. The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org/opportunity.
Is that a pitching change or that's still DeMo?
It looks like
it's
DeMo.
Still a lefty,
yes.
So that's probably DeMo.
Yeah, it looks like DeMo's still on the mound here to open up the 5th inning.
All right, we go to the 5th inning, and taking over for a couple innings, Taylor Stolworthy. And I always tell Tate this when he would come in, hold the lead.
Exactly. At this point, holding the lead, that would be a very catastrophic thing.
If you don't have the lead when I come back, you're done.
Exactly.
All right? Just putting that out there.
So we'll now have to wait and see. Big lead for the Spartans, but Spring Hill hoping to generate some offense. Timpany up and ready to go in the second inning. He drew a walk as he's going to pop up that first pitch here. And that'll be the first out of the inning. A quick at-bat there Timothy goes all the way to second, but that'll be out number 1. If you're just tuning in, you missed a lot. It would take me forever to go through the entire thing, but so far, Tampa leading by what you would consider a lot to a little. But now up is Akridge. He was able to get on base via walk in his last plate appearance, as that pitch is going to go a little bit high. The Spartans had started out with Alex Canny on the mound, and he did a good job starting off for the Spartans, but as me and Jake had mentioned earlier, Jack had said, Urso said if we got a lead, we'd bring in some members of the bullpen and give our arms a bit of a rest. And indeed, they've done exactly that. The count is now going to go to 1-1 after that swing and a miss. And we've seen D'Emo eat some innings, and we'll wonder if another pitcher will come in to retire him later on. Very low pressure for the Spartans on defense, and as well for Spring Hill on offense. They're just going to want to try to get something on the board and just show a little bit of, have a little bit of fun out there at this point. That one's going to go in the dirt. Count's going to go in 2-1. One out already after that fly out by Tim Finney. So we actually are going to see Earhart shift over to short, and we are going to see McAllister Jorgensen go to second base. So that'll be a defensive substitution made for the Spartans, as they're going to be bringing on a few different freshmen, a few different reserve players, but obviously the Spartans have a very deep lineup. They can afford to bring in a few guys to come on, get some at-bats, and play some defense, as there's one's going to be sent up, but foul. Count will go to 2-2. Previous to the game, Frank Sims said that he felt that his team didn't always face amazing competition, and so far their bats have struggled to get acclimated to the Spartans pitchers, as there's a swing and a miss for strike 3, as that is going to be the third strikeout of the game for D'Emo, and that'll be the second out of the top half of the 5th inning. This could be very much a wake-up call for Spring Hill. Double elimination, so they will be playing tomorrow, regardless of what happens today. They will be taking on, at this point, most likely the loser of the Valdosta State-Nova Southeastern game. That one's going to be on the outside corner, but a little bit low. Ball 1. Brock grounded out his last plate appearance back in the 2nd inning. Looking to get on base here. He's the 8-hitter in the Spring Hill lineup. Fouls that away. The count's going to go to 1-1 now. Ready with the pitch. That one's going to be low one more time. Count goes to 2-1. D'Emo hoping to finish up a 3rd inning of work here. We'll wonder how deep he can go, but as long as he can keep pitching, I think Urso won't mind him still going, and he'll have a bit of a buffer. 2, of course. Team has a pretty sizable lead. So even if Spring Hill takes advantage, if Emo runs out of gas, as that's going to be his first walk conceded, there won't be a lot of pressure, as we're now going to go for Saris, the catcher who had struck out on his last plate appearance in the 3rd inning. 2 outs and a runner on. And a chance to try to keep the inning alive and trying to generate a little bit of offense. Here's the pitch. That one's fouled away into the netting. Strike 1. We've seen Saris make some good plays at the catcher spot today, stopping some would-be wild pitches and preventing runners from taking second, doing a good job of getting in front. And as we've mentioned, this Spring Hill team is incredibly good behind the plate, as we're going to actually see Saris go down 0-2 in the count. So far, he's hitting .308 with an .882 OPS. For most teams, that would make you one of their better batters. For Spring Hill, that puts you at the 9th spot. Count's going to now go to 1-2 with that ball taken low. Despite the team doing so well here, throughout the season. Slower start today, only 1 hit and 2 walks, or 3 total base runners. That one's going to be popped up and lands foul. No chance for Rulai to go get it.
Counts 1-2, by the way.
1-2 count with 2 outs. On deck, Kirk, hoping he'll get a chance with the runner on this inning. Or he might have to wait until the next one. We'll have to see with this next pitch. Here's the 1-2 from Demo. Fouled away. Series stays alive. A warm day at the University of Tampa. Day 1 of regionals, and we still have a bit more baseball to be played afterwards. After this game, Valdosta State plays Nova Southeastern. But for now, as here's the 1-2. That one's going to be ball, making it 2-2. So far at Tampa, it is 90 degrees, 89, 90, hovering around that, partly cloudy. And it'll feel like 94 degrees outside, so a bit toasty for the players on the field. That one's fouled away, and again, Sarah stays alive. Doing a good job of not going down. Due up for the Spartans, the catcher Rulai. Then the top of the order once again with Urso and Lala. Demo ready and fires. That one's going to be sent up high. Goes out of play behind the dugout. But yes, a double elimination tournament. Both teams will play again tomorrow. The difference is the winner plays in the winner's bracket, a chance to go on to what could be a regional championship. The other, fight for their season to stay alive in the loser's bracket, taken just outside ball 3. Sarahs would love to work a walk. 3-2 count now. Swing and a miss. And that'll end the inning. No runs and no hits and no errors. A solitary walk leaves one runner stranded. Spartans still lead 27-0 as they go up for the bottom half of the 5th inning.
My name is Tucker Whitman, and I'm a Martinez Athletic Center includes a large gymnasium, a weight room, and training facilities. In addition, the campus features an aquatic center open year-round, 6 tennis courts, baseball and softball fields, a 1,500-seat stadium, as well as a lacrosse field and intramural complex. Need a break from studying?
So we are back Bottom half of the fifth inning, I'm Taylor Storthy, taking over for a little bit of action here through the middle of the game. Rulai so far, 2 walks and a double. Great start for him through 4 at-bats. That first pitch is going to be taken outside for ball 1. On the mound for Spring Hill, Holes, who came on to retire the final Spartan batter in the 4th inning and has a single strikeout so far. That one's going to be low, ball 2. Rulai gets ahead in the count. On deck, the top of the order once again for the Spartans, as they would be looking at a potential 6th at-bat for Urso, who has had quite a start so far. This Tampa offense has been on fire for every inning except the 3rd, where they didn't bring home a single run. Every other inning, they've been bringing quite a few home. Here's now the 2-0 from Rulai. That one's going to be high, ball 3. Every single time that Rulai has got on base, he's nearly gotten home. He's had 2 runs in the game in total. But strike 1 in the outside corner. That was close, but called strike. Good control there by Holtz to get that corner, paint it, make it a 3-1 count. This time it's going to be ball 4. Rulai gets on with 5 pitches, and that's his 3rd walk of the game. And that'll bring up Urso, who was substituted in the field, so actually it will not be Urso. Instead, it's going to be the freshman from Brandon, Florida, McAllister Jorgensen. So Jorgensen now with a runner on and no outs. Don't think Tampa will be worrying about small ball here. That first pitch taken, strike 1. Bit of an off speed that just lands in the zone. But Jorgensen getting a playoff at bat here after coming in as a defensive substitution. That one's strike 2, another breaker that lands on that outside corner. Very well placed. Holtz looking for strikeout number 2 right here, and the first out of the inning. That one's just going to be about outside. Count goes to 1-2 now. Have to wonder if Rulai is going to maybe try to make a break for it at first, or just stay there and be content to wait for any ball in play or anything else. 1-2 now to Jorgensen. Outside again. Ball 2. See another player warming up in Spring Hill's bullpen, but they'd love Holtz to go as long as he can. Try to keep some players rested for the games tomorrow. Fouled away. The count's now down at 2-2 still. A good job to stay alive there. On deck is Lala, unless they're going to bring in a pinch hitter for him. And Earhart, who's now at short, is batting 3rd. We'll get a chance unless there's a double play. He's going to line that into the outfield. It's going to be a base hit. Runners now on 1st and 2nd with no outs. And so 2-on for a batter who got on base via error, 2 walks and 2 hits. The lefty junior ready to go here with 2 runners on. He's already got 2 RBIs so far and has scored 4 times. Here's the 0-0. Fouled away. Count goes to 0-1. That one falls off the netting. Here's the pitch. That one's going to be taken low. And now, interestingly enough, we're actually seeing Giovanni Lorenzo taking some warm-up swings. So he could be coming on as a pinch hitter next instead of Earhart. Count at 1-1. That one's going to be low, ball 2. Spartans so far have drawn 6 walks, but notably as well, they've had 23 hits. 14 of them have come with runners on, and 11 of them have come with runners in scoring position. Here's the 2-1. Just outside, ball 3. This could bring bases loaded with no outs. Urso not in play. It's Jurgensen and Rulai on first and second. That's going to be sent deep to right field. That one's got a chance. Gone. See ya. And that is home run number 8 for the Spartans. And they have broken the 30-run plateau. This time the dugout slowly coming out. Obviously, you're not going to want to celebrate this one too much. But that one's a home run by Lala. And that has extended the Spartans' lead once again. We were taking a look at records. 9 home runs, I believe, is a Spartans record. And they are now 1 away from that. It feels like an unbreakable record, but today they're still going to have a couple more at-bats to try to do so. And we do have a pinch hitter in. It is going to be Giovanni Lorenzo, the junior from Fort Myers, Florida, the substitute catcher. And you also have to wonder whether he might come in for Rulai if they want to make a double defensive substitution. Ready to go. Here's the 0-0. That one's in the outside corner. Strike 1. That breaker has done a good job of fooling Spartans batters so far. A nice little backdoor breaker. Here's the 0-1. Strike 2 once again with that same pitch. As he gets ahead in the count, looking for out number 1 against Lorenzo, who's looking to make an impact here. No outs. That one's well outside for ball 1. Bases are empty after what was a 3-run shot there from Lala. That's going to be a little grounder, a slap hit. He's not going to be able to beat the throw to first. That'll be the first out of the inning for the Spartans. And now we are going to see a familiar bat back at the plate, Dan Sullivan. So far, he had a single for an RBI in the 4th inning and a flyout in the 3rd inning. You know, also 3 home runs from the 1st and 2nd innings. And in total of the game, he's got 8 RBIs. So on fire so far, with the bases empty and 1 out, looking to keep that Spartans offense going. He's going to send that one foul for strike 1. See a little bit of stretching in the Spartans bullpen. And that one inside and low. Count goes to 1-1. And again, wouldn't be surprised to see with free bases if Holtz maybe very, very cautiously pitched to. Because again, he has been so deadly today with his bat. 3 home runs. Fouls that one away. The count's going to go to 1-2. One more home run would break the record that he currently has tied with assistant coach Jose Jimenez. Knutson on deck for the Spartans. He came on as a defensive substitute very early and has already had a single at-bat. Here's the pitch. Strike 3, and Sullivan was certain as he had to turn away. He thought that was a ball. No, that's that breaker that we saw Holtz throw quite a few times. His 2nd strikeout of the game. And Sullivan is retired in his 6th at-bat. Knutson now up with 2 outs. Struck out last time in the 4th inning. First pitch. That one's going to be taken inside, ball 1. But indeed, Knutson so far, a solid season for the Spartans. He's going to foul that one away as the count goes to 1-1. And he's got a chance here to keep this inning alive for the Spartans. And got a nice little playoff memory so far. He could have a couple other opportunities too. But he gets a nice little chance today with multiple at-bats. That one's going to be taken ball 2. Staying a little ahead in the count early. 2-1 now from Holtz. That one's going to be sent deep to the outfield. Will it stay in? It looks like it will. It's going to get down for extra bases. Knutson's going to stay at second. A 2-out double as the Spartans keep the hitting alive. And yeah, so far this season, Knutson had 5 hits, a .294 average, That average might be assisted a little bit after that. And now we're going to see Glancy come back up. He also came in as a pinch hitter and is already having his 4th at-bat. He's had 2 singles and got on base via error. And now is a chance for the runner on second to keep this inning alive. Nunez getting ready to go on deck, wanting to get a chance this inning. Let's see what happens with Glancy first. Here's the 0-0 from Holtz. Swing and a miss. Glancy wanted all of that, got none of it. That one's strike 2 on the inside corner. That breaker has been pretty strong so far and has definitely gotten some tie-ups from Spartan lefty batters like Glancy. The 0-2 now. He's going to foul that one away, staying alive. As it stands, Spartans would go on to face Nova Southeastern or Valdosta State tomorrow. Valdosta State was the team that sent Tampa's softball team packing. And Nova Southeastern, has been a team that has also ended some seasons and got in the way of a couple of the other Spartan side. So 2 teams that would have a couple histories throughout some different sports. As Holtz takes a second to double check and go over what he wants to do to try to end the inning here. The 0-2 now to Glancy. Glancy's going to send that one high, but it'll stay in play. And the inning is over as Kirk is able to make the play in the outfield. Spartans score 3 runs on 3 hits after that home run. They lead 30-0 entering the top half of the 6th inning. We'll be back with more on Tampa Spartans TV, NCAA Regional Playoff Softball. Baseball.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby.
Inside the 30. Touchdown. Michaela Burgess. Incredible finish by Hall.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org/opportunity.
Top of the 6th inning underway back at the University of Tampa. Spartans lead by a lot to a little. First pitch fouled away, strike 1. Demo is still on the mound for the Spartans. He came in and has pitched 3 clean innings of work. A walk and hit conceded alongside 4 strikeouts. Kirk so far, well, he came in as a pinch hit, or as a defensive substitution, and now is staying in for his first at-bat of the game. Here's the 0-1. 0-2, that one on the outside corner. As here's the 0-2. Fouled away. Good job to stay alive there by Kirk. That one stays in the beehive. Still a beautiful day here at the University of Tampa campus, and we do have more baseball after this. Whenever this game ends, There will be a break until we see Valdosta State and Nova Southeastern getting ready to go. As we now have the 0-2. Now 1, ball 1. Kirk holds up. Spring Hill's bats, usually so good throughout the season. Today, just a little bit quieter. They've got some runners in positions, as that is going to be the first out of the inning. That one's from the dirt. Kirk did a good job to try to run it out, but takes us a nonchalant throw to retire him. And now we have 1 out away, as we're going to see Grayson Williams step up here. Flew out twice in his previous at-bats. Interesting thing about Grayson Williams, has a 1095 OPS. You could argue he could be due for his third at-bat right here to get on base. Hitters up and down the order for Spring Hill hitting really well, where you see batters that are in the lower parts of the Spring Hill order that probably, with those stat lines, be very high up in the order. Batters for the Spartans, and he's going to get the second hit of the game with a nice line drive past the infield into the outfield. 1 out, runner on now, as that is going to bring up the star two-way player, Micah Morgan, who has had an electric season, hitting over 400 and has a hit so far in 2 plate appearances. He's got a chance with a runner on to try to get his team into a dangerous position. They are currently 0 for 1 with runners in scoring position, and he'd love for them to get another chance and another crack at that situation. That first pitch taken, ball outside. D'Emo already on 47 pitches, make this now number 49 coming up. Strike 1, low in the zone. D'Emo might go this rest of the inning, might go a little bit further. Have to see what Urso wants to do. That one's going to be a line drive. First base coach gets out of the way. Count's now going to go to 1-2. Of course, we thank you for watching if you're a Spartan fan or if you're a Badger fan. Be sure to stay tuned for tomorrow's action, too. We will also have action on Saturday. A lot of fun games coming up. 1-2 count here, as that one now grows to 2-2 after the ball. And ball 3, just a little bit outside. Morgan fights to a full count. Went from pitcher to DH. And here's now the full count on deck. McClure. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 5 for D'Emo. +1. That's number 6 for his strikeouts here. On fire so far. 2 outs and a runner on. Last time up, McClure struck out looking and grounded out previously to the pitcher. McClure looking for a better at-bat here with 2 outs. That's going to be a line drive. Curls deep to left, but it's playable. And Knudsen has made the final out of the inning. They get nothing with 1 hit, no runs and no errors. Bottom half of the order coming up for the Spartans. Nunez, Malcolm, and Rulai up next.
This is the University of Tampa. Explore your dreams. Discover your talents. Get ready to invent, innovate, and be a leader. This is the University of Tampa.
Holtz stays on the mound here. He's ready to go for the bottom half of the 6th inning. Spartans still lead 30-0. They've broken their playoff runs record, and they are one shy of their home run record with 8. And up is Nunez, who had a double last time up, but he's also had a walk and home run earlier. He's had 4 RBIs today and has come home twice for 2 runs. First pitch is going to be taken outside, ball 1. Holt's not able to locate that outside breaker that he likes. He's going to drive that to the outfield. Gets down for a base hit. Leadoff single there for Nunez. Now that brings him a triple shy of the cycle, too. Quite a few Spartan players getting quite a few hits. And now we are going to see Malcolm up. First inning, he had a single. Second inning, a home run. Then he had a double, a single, and struck out in the 4th inning. Malcolm, if he's able to find one down the right field line, he would be able to get a potential triple and cycle, but obviously that's a lot easier said than done. Here's the 0-0 now from Holes. He's going to send that one up. Goes a little bit too far up as Kirk reads it, makes the play for the first out of the inning. That'll bring Malcolm to 4 for 6 in the day in his at-bats. Now we're going to see Rulai ready to go. Rulai 1 for 3. The reason Rulai's only 1 for 3 is because he's grounded out, had a double, but also 2 walks. That first pitch is going to be taken outside for ball 1. Holtz now. That's his 41st pitch, and it's going to go in the dirt for ball 2. So a runner on with 1 out. That one's ball number 3. Rulai getting ahead very early. Wonder if we can get walk number 3 in the day. Spartans 6 in total so far. Number 7 would bring the top of the order back up with 2 runners on. 3-0. That one is ball 4. So Rulai goes on 4 straight balls. And that is going to be his 3rd walk of the game as Jurgensen is ready for his 2nd at-bat of the game. Jurgensen wasn't recorded the last time he was up here, but he did get on base. And he was able to come home off a home run. Jack is back with me in the booth as we continue the bottom half of the 6th inning with 1 out. And that one is a hit by pitch. Wow. So as Jorgensen steps up into the box, the bases will be loaded for Lala.
We still haven't seen the balk.
We still haven't yet.
That's the only thing we have not seen today, as far as I know. Or a grand slam, I guess, if you really want to get down to it.
Yeah, but player who could bring it home right here. He's had 3
pitching change, maybe.
Yeah, 2 walks a day. He got on base via error and a home run, and you did miss it, but he had a home run in the 5th inning.
I was sitting right down here. I saw
it.
I saw
you
it.
saw it. You just were missing it from the booth.
I heard you call it.
Yep.
And you adhered to my wishes. You did not give up the lead.
Indeed. Although I would have been more impressive to give up the lead than keep it, I would have to say. It would have been a spectacular failure to do so, but it looks like we are going to get another call from the bullpen. Hull's day might be done, but he has gone far. 44 pitches and 1 2/3. Although there is a conference, we might have to wait and see. As we saw Sims step out to talk, and it looks like he will be done for the day. Alrighty now.
I think did they change a position player and just brought him in? Did he run in from the bullpen?
They may have. It might be.
Sure.
We'll have to double check. Connor Ingram is a normal right-handed pitcher, though, so I do assume he would have ran in. Also, yeah, as Ingram begins to warm up, we're going to take a break here, and we'll be back at Tampa Spartans TV for more action after this. Lala ready to go. Bases loaded. He's going to line that into the outfield. Will it get down? It will. That means one run will come home. Only one run, but that is going to bring the Spartans their 31st run of the game, and Lala his 6th RBI, as Lorenzo came in as a pinch hitter last time, will now have bases loaded with one out.
Again, you can't tell a player to not swing at a good pitch, and he just blooped it in there. Just one run crossing. They're not going to try to score two. In that situation, you wouldn't have tried anyway, but they're not going to try to maybe send a guy and hope he scores.
Obviously, Spartans just going to play, just going to swing, not going to try anything crazy with small ball. Don't think they're going to try to do any more sacrifice
No
bunts
steals, no sacks, none of that.
Yep.
Just hit it and see what happens.
Fouled away, so the count is now going to go to 0-2 to Lorenzo. Lorenzo grounded out last time. But again, with the Spartans having a lead, as you would call it, they're able to bring in some players who don't always get some plate appearances and give them some chances to shine in a playoff atmosphere. That one, strike three, a very well-placed breaker. As that fools Lorenzo, and that'll put 2 outs on the board for this man right here, Dan Sullivan. He struck out looking last time on a similar breaker from the lefty Hulse. Looking to get home run number 4. He's already got a single as well.
But he's only 1 for 3 in his last 3 at-bats.
Yeah, I know. He's having a little bit of a cold stretch, as you would call it. But, yeah, very good day for Sullivan indeed. 2 outs. That one's going to be a wild pitch, but obviously no one running. Yeah. There's no reason to. You're already leading by 31. Just let that go and take the free ball right here. 1-0 count.
So that's kind of what we were saying. If it's a good pitch, swing at it. But
if not, let it go.
Presented other opportunities, just stay where you are.
The only time I could see maybe players trying to extend extra bases is if someone wants a cycle. Which, to be fair, that's one time you might say go ahead. But otherwise, just take the single. Don't go extra bases. Yeah. That one's outside, ball 2.
If you put it in the gap, probably going to get a double.
Exactly. And so far, Spartans have done a little bit of that action.
If he puts this in the gap, Lala probably doesn't want to try to score from first.
You do imagine that Jorgensen would probably want to turn from second just to get home, but
if it's in the gap, you're going to score from second anyway.
Yeah,
even
no
if
real pressure either way.
But now it's 3-0 with the bases full. So,
and again, not a surprise seeing them pitching very cautiously to Sullivan. And Sullivan, satisfied with that, he's going to get on base.
You can't tell him to swing at that just to take a strike.
That'll bring another run home for the Spartans. And that is now going to bring up Knutson, who came on defensive substitution and has had a good game so far. He's had a double earlier, and he actually hasn't gone all the way home yet. Very surprising, one of the only Spartans players to not be able to do so. At plate with 2 outs, first pitch taken, strike 1. Of course, we actually forgot to mention, coming into the game, Connor Ingram from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and Oak Grove High School. He's a 6'2 senior. Ready to go here with the 0-1 count. That one a breaker, strike 2 in the inside corner.
That froze him.
It did. We saw Knutson go out of the way, but that is strike 2, the 0-2, looking to retire a bases-loaded situation, and actually strands from Spartan runners. Strike 3. So, side retired looking. Whew. Spartans go down, but they get 2 runs on 2 hits. 32-0 entering the top of the 7th. Sweeney, Timpany, and Anchorage due up for Spring Hill. We'll be back with more Tampa Spartans baseball after this.
College sports.
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
A return to normal, and all we love about sports.
You've instilled resilience, focus, and selflessness in us. We've put those lessons to work.
We've found strength and unity in each other.
You continue to take us places we never imagined.
You bring out the best in us.
So when we look forward, we see the light at the end of the tunnel.
We see a better world for all of us. And for college sports.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
Simpson's first at-bat of the game. DeMo fires. Inside. We're full at 3-2. 2 outs, nobody on. You are not mistaken. It's 32 to nothing.
Sometimes there are scoreboard glitches, but that is not one of them.
No.
It is actually 32 to nothing. Here's the pitch, 3-2.
And they walked him. Had to wait. The umpire looked like he was contorting a little bit, like he wanted to make the call. DeMo with the walk, though.
You could argue this has arguably been one of the best games in Spartans program history from a run-scoring perspective, and followed up with another great pitching performance. Apart from that second walk, Demo has only let 4 runners get on base.
Swing and a miss. Brock at the plate. 2 at-bats already today. 1 official. Right up the middle. Boy, DeMo just got out of the way. Just the 3rd hit of the game. Spartans with 32 runs, 27 hits, no errors. Spring Hill, no runs, 3 hits. Unfortunately, 5 errors, though that, as much as that's a pretty high amount, hasn't been the main reason for this score. Yeah. Though it started out with a throwing error that brought in the first 2 runs of the game on the 3rd batter of the game for Tampa.
I mentioned early that, hey, it's been the errors mainly fault for the slow start for Spring Hill. As the game's continued, it's become less and less of the errors' fault, and more just the Spartans' bats have been utterly perfect today. 27 for 47 at the plate in total. That's weird to say, 47 at-bats in a single game.
DeMo inside. No, called strike.
I will notice the home plate umpire has called a few inside strikes, so I think that might be a slightly expanded zone, something that pitchers and batters will need to get used to as the game has progressed. Saw a couple breakers going inside, being called for those strikes. That one's just outside.
Set up outside there.
Count 1-1 now. But so far, Deemo now over 70 pitches from relief. Doing a great job, though, from relief still in total.
In the stretch, here's the pitch. Off speed, swing and a miss. And again, the scoreboard is wrong because that would have been it showed 1-2. It is 1-2 now.
So 1-2 count here. The 2 outs and 2 on. Spring Hill hoping to try to get a first run home.
And the pitch. That may send a run home. Frank Sims signaling the runner to score. They're just going to concede it, and Spring Hill is on the board at 32-1.
Some applause from the Spring Hill fans finally getting a run home. And there'll still be 2 runners on with 2 outs after that line drive single by Ceres. Kirk is now back up. Would come on as a defensive sub in center field. Struck out last time.
Spartans do have somebody hopping up in the bullpen. First pitch to Sears is a swing and a miss. Or Kirk, I should say.
Sears on first, Brock on second. They're going to be hoping to get home.
DeMo in the stretch, fires. Called strike.
Got the lefty on lefty advantage, of course, for Demo. And because of that was one of the reasons that Kirk had struck out in his last at-bat back in the 6th inning.
In the stretch, and the pitch. Fouled off. And close, you can't see it from here, but the balls, when they hit the backstop screen, depending on where they hit it, the ball will angle off. It won't bounce straight back, and there's some kids hanging out right down there. It angles off, and a mom saw it. She's getting a standing ovation for shielding the kids from the ball that was heading toward them. That's just one thing. There's a base hit. That should bring in another one. Frank Sims sending him in. They're just going to let him score, and it's 32-2. Standing up and scoring is Brock. Back-to-back base hits, score runs. And if you want to be an optimist, Spring Hill has halved the lead. It was 30. They've scored twice, so it's down to 16.
They have, yeah.
They haven't halved it. It's not 32-16.
Of course, but they have cut down that margin by about 50%, and however you try to divide it. So.
Yes, if you're dividing, they've
exactly.
taken it down from... That's
they do a good job there.
Inside.
Any benefit, of course, for Spring Hill is definitely very appreciated so far.
Well, you know what you do is you say, hey, look, we kept fighting. We weren't going to come back, but look at that. We came up with some hits. Got the bat swinging. There's one that may loop out into Lala makes the catch. And that'll end the inning. Couple runs for Spring Hill. They now have 5 hits on the day. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Tampa leading 32-2 right here on TampaSpartans.tv.
Welcome to the University of Tampa. My name is Tucker Whitman, and I'm a junior marketing major here at UT. Today we're going to look at some of the highlights of our beautiful Riverside campus here in downtown Tampa. We'll start at Plan Hall. This historic building was opened in 1891 as the Tampa Bay Hotel, and now serves as the main academic building here at UT, with 4 floors of classrooms, as well as faculty and administrative offices. Next up, the Vaughn Center, the hub of campus life and activities. This multi-purpose building includes the campus bookstore, our primary cafeteria plus an additional food court, a theater, as well as offices and meeting rooms for student organizations. The Vaughn Center is also one of UT's residence halls, providing 5 floors of student rooms. Morsani Hall is another residence hall here at UT. In addition to housing approximately 450 students, this building offers another selection of eateries as well as a small grocery store. Now let's check out the Sykes College of Business. This academic building houses classrooms and faculty offices for UT's undergrad and graduate business students. This building also has a real-time stock trading room. Right next door is the Sykes Chapel for Faith and Values. This gorgeous interfaith chapel features a large main hall complete with a massive pipe organ, as well as meditation rooms and meeting rooms. Student healthcare is a major priority for us here at UT. The Dickey Health and Wellness Center is accessible to all students and provides high-quality services including basic medical care, counseling, and wellness programs. On the east side of campus, you'll find the McDonald-Kelsey Library. Here, students can learn from a large collection of books, periodicals, and digital databases. They can also take advantage of our numerous study rooms and computers. The Academic Success Center is another great resource for students. This is your one-stop shop for academic advising, coaching, and tutoring services. Whether you're a seasoned athlete or just want to shoot some hoops, the athletic facilities here at UT are hard to beat. The Bob Martinez Athletic Center includes a large gymnasium, a weight room, and training facilities. In addition, the campus features an aquatic center.
Luke Glancy will lead off, bottom of the 7th for the Spartans. Came in as a replacement earlier in the game. Actually, it was back in the 2nd, and he's got his 5th at-bat. He came in, the Spartans were already up by double digits. So far today, has a couple base hits.
1 RBI on 2 singles. He flew out his last time, hoping to improve right here.
Ingram pitching. Ball hit up into the air. Waiting for it is Kirk, and he makes the catch on 1 pitch. 1 up, 1 down. That'll bring Nunez to the plate. And let me count this correctly. 6th appearance at the plate. Actually, 5 official plate appearances with a walk back in the 2nd, but he also homered back in the 2nd. Has doubled and singled, so we've said this for a couple other players to this point. He is a triple away from the cycle.
And of course, that's the only time you'll expect a Spartan to try to really stretch along at base play, because obviously, if there's a runner on, they're only probably going to advance 1 play to a ball in the outfield at this stage. But for Nunez, if he hits that up into the gap, he might try to round second.
A lefty, if he puts it in the gap or he puts it down the line, can't blame him. Here's the pitch. That one was so inside, it was behind Nunez.
Good news for Nunez, he's able to duck out of the way and avoid getting hit.
I've had those before, and you don't know. When you see it coming, you're like, I should back up because it's inside. Wait. If I back up, I back into it.
Yeah.
So he just kind of froze. Here's the next pitch. This one is outside.
Count goes to ball 3. And you have to say that for Nunez. Sometimes you might say, oh, yeah, go ahead, take the beanball and get on base. We're good. We don't need any more base runners right now. Just see what you can do with a hit. Just as well, he could get on base via walk here. He is up 3-0 in the count. We'll have to wait and see what this pitch is from Ingram.
And here's the pitch. Down the middle, strike 1, 3-1.
2 strikeouts so far for Ingram, and only a hit and walk surrendered.
And the pitch.
Pitcher so
Bouncer
far.
Up the middle. They try to field it, not able to. Doyle tried to backhand it at second base. Probably will go down as a hit. Would have been a hard play to throw him out in the first place.
Indeed, and it will be a hit, and that should make it 28 on the game for the Spartans.
John Malcolm to the plate.
Hey, and Malcolm is another one of those players who can go for the cycle.
If he has a triple, he's got a cycle.
He homered back in the second.
Check swing, called a ball. Nope, they appeal it, still a ball. Spartans do have a pitcher throwing in the bullpen. And he swings at that one. That one gets away, and Nunez is going to trot down to second. He swung at it, did not make contact, but it was in the dirt and bounced away from the catcher, Sears. So Nunez kind of said, well, I guess I'll go.
I wonder if Nunez would also want to keep a base ahead just in case you do see.
Well, it takes him out of a double play.
But true, that also helps too. But again, a double play, again, leads to the Spartans' concerns for the time being.
So you can't stop playing baseball.
Of course. You always have your instincts to go on a ball like that, and he does.
1-2 to Malcolm. Way outside, 2-2. Spartans are hitting at a phenomenal .571 today. 28 out of 49. That is unheard of numbers.
Those are video game numbers.
That one gets away, but not far enough.
And peep this stat, with 2 outs, they're actually hitting .579.
Yeah, no.
So when there's 2 outs in the inning, the bats actually get even better, which is even crazier to think about. A little bit worse with runners on, .533, and .520 with runners in scoring position. But still, those are really good numbers.
Outside, and Malcolm draws a walk, so it'll put runners at first and second. Josh Rulai strides to the plate.
Now, Rulai so far, he's only 1 for 3, despite having a lot of those plate appearances. Of course, only a few of them will count officially, as he's had 3 walks today. So he's done a great job of getting on base and using patience to his advantage. He's also scored 4 times as well.
And the pitch. Call strike. 0-1. Runners at first and second. Nunez and Malcolm, I should say. Rulai at the plate. Ingram with the pitch. Looks good. Call strike. In the hole, 0-2.
We've only seen that breaker thrown a few times from Ingram, but a nice little bit of curve on it to fool some batters. And now he's going to be ahead in the count thanks to it.
Ingram, again, 0-2. Outside, 1-2. Second game, Valdosta State, Nova Southeastern, scheduled for 5 o'clock. Very sure that won't happen, as we're only in the bottom of the 7th. It's 4 o'clock. There's a base hit, and Joe Urso says, stay here, Mr. Nunez. Base is loaded. Any other game? He's sending him because that was in the gap.
It definitely would have cleared the bases, I think, as well, as you got now Malcolm at second, Nunez at third. They both would have been able to go home, but no need to. Just keep him there. And it's going to bring the top of the order back up. Jorgensen, 2 at-bats. Last time up, he was hit by a pitch. The stats wasn't actually recording Jorgensen's previous at-bat where he actually did get on base. Ingram all the way home.
And the first pitch, call strike.
It's great to see Jorgensen get some at-bats here, being a freshman making his playoff debut.
And that one's blooped out into right field. Coming in, making a nice catch out in right field with Simpson. And the runners hold.
Simpson, great play in right field, making a sliding catch. And that will help keep the score line 32-2. But
any other time, Nunez tries to come home from third with the right fielder sliding, going to the turf.
But for now, they'll just stay, and that brings up Lala one more time.
Tether them to the base. And a pinch hitter coming up. Jose Cadenas coming up. Played a lot of center field for the Spartans earlier in the season, then had a leg injury.
But yeah, the 5'8 junior getting ready to go. Also probably play defense in center field.
Ground ball, fielded at third. They're just going to step on the base for the force. Tampa does not score in the 7th. even though they loaded the bases. So we played 7 full, 32-2. Tampa on top of Spring Hill on TampaSpartans.tv.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can. And then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby.
Inside the 30. Touchdown. Michaela burns it. An incredible finish by Hall.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org/opportunity.
We head to the top of the 8th inning. Spartans will make a pitching change. Drew Martin coming into the game. Taylor, you said you had the numbers?
I did indeed. Drew Martin, so far, 5 2/3 pitched this season with a 3.18 ERA, 8 strikeouts over the 5 2/3 pitched, meaning he's got a second highest K9 on the team at 12.71. So that is really cool to see. And he has a 4-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, but again, incredibly small sample size. We'll see what he does here. But very little pressure with this large of a lead. And he'll be tasked probably to go to the end if possible.
If he looks tall, folks, it's because he is. He's 6'7", 245. He's from Tampa, Jesuit High School. Actually went to Eckerd College and transferred to Tampa for his grad year. Pitched against Eckerd earlier this year.
Always fun to have a little homecoming game like that against a divisional rival.
He's going to face Morgan as the first batter. Morgan, if you remember way back, was the starting pitcher for Spring Hill, but he's also one of their top hitters, so he moved after they took him out from the mound to the DH role and has stayed in that role.
So far, he's 1 for 3. This time, he's going to check out ball 2. It didn't go all the way around. Actually did a good job of holding his bat back while his body completed the swing. Struck out last time in the 6th inning. Had a single in the 4th and grounded out in the 1st.
Base hit up the middle. That may fall and go, probably not going to go for extras. Fielded by Cadenas and holds him to a single.
So now you take a look at the Spartans lineup, and only Rulai and Sullivan are 2 of the original players from the starting lineup, apart from Nunez. But everyone else has been substituted.
Though Nunez did change positions.
Going from third to short. But yeah, Spartans the luxury to be able to play a lot of different faces, and they're still doing relatively well.
Yep, brings McClure to the plate, the shortstop.
McClure flew out last time, hoping to get his first plate appearance that ends with him on base right here.
Martin fires, swing and a miss.
Count now goes to 0-2.
Spartans will play tomorrow at 4 against the winner of the nightcap coming up, which there's a ground ball. Fielded by Jorgensen, has to go to first, doesn't get it there in time. He beats it out for a hit. Runners will be at first and second with nobody out here in the 8th.
A split second too slow on that throw, so it puts 2 runners on with no outs. He was looking to try to turn maybe 2 or get the ball to second, but
well, when he turned, he realized there wasn't any chance to get him. And then when he turned again, he had no chance to get him at first. So just a nice solid base hit. Brings Sweeney to the plate. Sweeney on the day, a couple ground outs and a strikeout, and the pitch. Just a little low. Martin with a look back, and the pitch. Some heat and fouled off. Down into the Tampa bullpen.
Tampa's bullpen currently empty, and I think with a lead like this, they're just going to want to see.
They're going to ride Martin's arm to the end.
Yep.
If
Unless,
at all possible.
Yeah, it would be a catastrophe if Martin wasn't able to make it to the end at this point. But, of course, crazier things have happened today. We'll have to wait and see. Here's the 1-1.
Fly ball out to Cadenas in the center. Runner looking to tag, does, and stays. Took a couple steps toward third and thought better of it, came back. One down now, runners at first and second still.
I will say, Cadenas, a great arm to get that in time to hold the runner at second. So now a double play opportunity could be open. We saw the Spartans convert one earlier. With 2 outs, or 1 out. First and second, Spartans hoping to get a second out here as they now face Doyle, who grounded out last time, came on as a pinch hitter.
Martin with a look back. Outside. Doyle one at bat, grounded out. And the pitch. Blooped out into right field, fair ball. That'll plate one runner. Glancy with the throw in. Scoring was Morgan, making it 32-3. Runners now go to the corners with 1 out. That one just bounced fair.
That's more good news for the Spring Hill Bats, getting a little bit of offensive live. If they can carry this momentum from the end of this game into tomorrow's match and game,
well, that's their hope.
Get to the next stage of the losers bracket.
Yep, that's their hope, is that you just take a little bit of momentum you can find in this game. There's one, that nice stop by Rulai.
Yeah, but indeed, Jack, take this momentum and try to use it to come back and get a win and see if you can climb all the way back up to face whoever wins in that winner's bracket on Saturday.
And the pitch. That one's ripped into right field, and Glancy's going to watch it one hop to the wall. 1 run will score. Runner from first heading to third, and they hold him, and it's now 32-4 on a double by Simpson. I keep glancing down at the Spartan bullpen, but I think Joe Urso says, let's just keep it up. Let's just get it out of the inning. Right now, they're hitting him where the Spartans aren't playing. And eventually, the hope is, even if they hit it hard, they'll hit it at somebody.
And here's the thing as well for the Spartans. They've got a very large lead. They really don't need to worry about a run deficit until we see another incredibly long and very hard-fought inning. They'd have to basically outdo the Spartans' efforts back in the second inning for us to really say, okay, maybe you should look and start to worry. But for now, the Spartans could just play business as usual, and Spring Hill can benefit.
Brock at the plate. 1-1 pitch from Martin. Runners at second and third. Check swing, and they appeal it. Said he didn't go around.
One and one count. Second and third after that double.
Martin into the stretch. And a little bit low, maybe outside. Makes it 2-1. Top of the 8th.
Brock has shown some good discipline so far. He got on base via a walk back in the 5th and a single in the 7th.
Martin fires a little bit high. Rulai had to go upstairs a little bit to get that. It's 3-1 now. Might not be surprised if Martin walks that you'll see action in the Spartan bullpen as Joe Urso's like, come on, just let him hit it. And the pitch. Blooped out into right field. Coming in is Glancy makes the catch for the second out. That one stayed up long enough for Glancy to get there. 2 down now. Sears to the plate.
And I think that's exactly that, as you were saying. Urso just wants balls in play just to see if he can get out of the inning relatively quickly. Saying, hey, go ahead, put it in play. If they score a couple runs on some hits, or even if they take it yard, there's no pressure whatsoever. Just figure out a simple way you can get out of the jam and don't kill your arm too much. Looks like we might have a pinch hitter here, unless it is still Series, and it is a pinch hitter, it looks like.
Who we have, 34, is that who it was?
It's 24, I believe,
24.
or 34, yes, 24.
24.
Will Prinz, the senior from Denver, Colorado.
Martin with the pitch. Outside, low.
Count's going to jump to 2-0 after that one. Down low and outside.
Second and third, here's the pitch. Call strike.
Some heat down the middle that time. Count gets a little bit closer.
And the pitch. A little bit low outside. Now a 3-1 count. And again, this is the same predicament we had the last batter. Got him to fly out to Glancy. Three-1 on the way. Catches the corner for a strike. Full count. And the payoff pitch on the way. Low, he walked him. Loads the bases here in the top of the 8th. And striding to the plate will be the leadoff hitter, Kirk.
For Kirk, this is a fun situation you remember from childhood. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Obviously not for the win right here, but still a fun situation in a playoff atmosphere. A little bit of a high pressure at bat and a chance to really generate a little bit of offense for your team. He's going to be ready for the first pitch now from Martin.
Martin sets, ground ball, heading out to Jorgensen, fields it, gets out of the inning, nothing scores. 2 score, I should say. And it cuts it to 32-4. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th, where the Spartans will send up Lorenzo, Sullivan, and Knutson right here on TampaSpartans.tv.
This is the University of Tampa. UT students travel from across the nation and around the globe to join a dynamic learning community. There are 150 academic programs, continuing studies for non-traditional students, and a highly ranked graduate school. Ranked NCAA Division II athletics program. The UT experience begins with an innovative first-year program and continues with opportunities to challenge yourself in the honors program, to study abroad, to conduct research with faculty, to do an internship, to volunteer in the community, or to participate in multiple leadership programs. Explore your dreams. Discover your talents. Get ready to invent, innovate, and be a leader. This is the University of Tampa.
10. Bottom of the 8th we go. Spartans leading 32-4. Giovanni Lorenzo will be leading off.
Lorenzo struck out looking his last time, and he's come on as a pinch hitter and a defensive substitution at third base, hoping to improve his batting fortunes here. Strike one on the outside corner.
Couple other scores. There are other regionals going on. The other South Regional at St. Leo. St. Leo playing Lee University. It's not 10-3. Lee leading St. Leo in the 7th inning. Also in that regional, Rollins is going to be playing Delta State later today, just as Valdosta State will play Nova Southeastern after this game. Ball to the backstop. No harm, no foul there.
So far, Ingram's been the best pitcher for Spring Hill. No runs conceded as of yet. 3 hits and 2 walks conceded, but it's retired both sides without damage, and has also had 2 strikeouts.
There's a blooper. Might fall in the gap. I think it will. Yes. Lorenzo with a base hit. Should be able to stretch it into a double and goes cruising into second with a stand-up double.
That's Lorenzo's first hit of the game. And it'll start off the inning for the Spartans well, as Sullivan comes back up. And so far, Sullivan, since the 3rd inning, has had a walk and a single hit after striking out looking and flying out. And it feels like he's had 2 different games at that point, because from innings 1 and 2, I don't think we even need to say it again. He already has a couple home runs.
3 home runs.
1 home run away from breaking that record. Unlikely to get it here, but if he did, it would be a special moment he could share with Jose Jimenez, his coach.
It's not his fault if they groove him one.
Obviously.
Here's the pitch to Sully. Outside, good stop by Sears.
Sears has been solid behind the batter at the backstop today, making good plays, keeping the ball in check, and not allowing a lot of wild pitches and pass balls to get past him. And that was one of them right there. That was a little bit too outside, but he keeps Lorenzo at second.
And the pitch. Bloops it foul. This is the 8th time Sullivan has come to the plate in this game today. He came up 3 times before we were done with the 2nd inning. He does have a walk, so he actually only has 6 official at-bats waiting on the outcome of this one. But it's his 8th time striding into the batter's box, which is probably unprecedented. 8 times in 8 innings. Outside, again Sears with the stop.
I wonder if that's going to be a Spartan record too. He also shares that total alongside Rulai, who will be potentially batting later in this inning if the Spartans are able to generate more offense. But if not, it's unlikely that it'll go to the bottom of the 9th, which means Rulai could be settled with 7 times into the batter's box, but only a few plate appearances.
That's going to bloop into center field for a base hit, and Lorenzo will stay. Moves up 1 base, will stay at third.
Sullivan, 5 hits for the day. Man. A great job for him. 3 of them leaving the yard.
So he will have a 5 for 7 day.
And hats off to Dan Sullivan. What a start to the playoff run for the Spartans. And now we are going to see Knutson back up. He had a double back in the 5th inning, struck out 2 other times.
So Kian Knutson to the plate. Ball in the dirt. Runners at first and third. Spartans with a 28-run lead. Tampa with 31 hits to go with their 32 runs. Haven't heard if this is any sort of NCAA record, 32 runs today.
I have to check, but I assume that it would probably get on a top 10 list somewhere.
It's going to push the record books anyway.
It definitely will. There are definitely aspects of this game that will push record books. I'd assume that 8 home runs in terms of a tournament would probably be a record, because I'm pretty sure that home run record is for regular season.
Yes.
At least I certainly hope it would be. Counts now 1.
3-2 pitch. And that's going to fall in for a base hit. Lorenzo has no choice but to score from third. And it's 33-4 on another base hit. Hit number 32, run number 33. Runners now at first and second with no outs in the bottom of the 8th.
The hits are finally catching back up with the runs. They've been behind after the pretty strong start, but now in total, 32 hits for 33 runs. And Glancy back up here. He's already on his 6th plate appearance. And that is an official plate appearance. He hasn't walked. 2 flyouts, 2 singles, and got on base via error.
And that
wild
pitch gets away. Runners will advance.
And I think he came on as a pinch hitter as the first time back in the second inning.
Second, yeah. But he was probably 16-0 at the time.
Exactly. That was when this game was also still very much in the Spartans' control. So he's had a very long day as well. But a lot of chances to shine at the plate, and he has a couple times.
Ingram in the stretch. Now runners at second and third. And the pitch. Outside. Pops out of Sears' mitt. Not far enough away for anything.
So on that previous play, a run finally did come home, giving Ingram his first earned run of his stint on the mound. But he's done a great job of limiting the Spartans' offense. Another bullpen arm's warming up, but at this point, I'd run Ingram rest of the way. Just let him finish the job. Yep. Even though there's no outs, it doesn't really matter. Just save your bullpen for the next few games.
Strike call.
Count's going to now go to 1-2 on Glancy. Hasn't struck out yet and doesn't want to start here.
In the stretch. And the pitch. Check swing in the dirt. Goes to 2-2.
Nunez on deck, and he's also about to have his 8th plate appearance today. So another long day for him as well.
Staggering numbers in this game. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Drop third strike. They'll have to throw it down. Runners hold. And we've got the first out of the inning. Nunez to the plate.
That's strikeout number 3 for Ingram, as that first out is retired. And Nunez ready to go. It is going to be Nunez. No pinch hitter here.
He's probably exhausted the supply.
Now, I want to note something as well. Nunez, he's pulling an Anthony Rendon and batting left-handed.
He's switch hitter.
Oh, switch hitter, okay.
Yes. Ball outside, good stab by Sears. Though I wonder if the Spartans would have tried to score anyway. Ball gets away from the bullpen. First baseman Williams tosses it back, so we'll keep going. Sullivan on third. Knudsen on second. 1 out, 1-0 count to Nunez, bottom of the 8th. Call strike.
We also mentioned that Nunez is still one of those players who would need a triple for a cycle, but at this point, that's probably just more wishful thinking, just, hey, if that did happen, maybe the runners and that would allow it to happen. But at this point, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really affect the impact of the game, as here's the 1-1.
Outside, bounces away from Sears, not far enough to make a difference.
Spartans probably wouldn't go even if it did go all the way, I'd say, at this point. They could send Sullivan home if he wanted to, but no real reason to. Count goes to 2-1 now.
Ingram in the stretch. And a little breaker goes inside and low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now, do I believe the scoreboard or do I believe our monitor?
Given that the scoreboard the viewers at home see is also at 2-1.
Well, the scoreboard says 1-1. Our monitor says 3-1.
So everything's not reading it, but that is going to be strike 2 now.
Well, it's a full count.
Yep.
Nunez digs in. Ingram fires, pops up. Out into center field. Kirk waiting. Makes the catch, drifting away. Sullivan will tag and score. Kind of have to do that, and that'll make it 34-4 as Sullivan crosses.
When it's that deep, you might as well, and the Spartans' lead is back up to 30.
Well, you got to keep playing baseball, and
especially, yes.
I don't think, maybe if it was a ball where he came in to get it and they would have a play at the plate, they probably would have held him.
Another player who could go for the cycle now up, as we're going to see John Malcolm go again. First pitch is going to be taken, outside ball 1. Has a home run, 2 singles, a double. Meanwhile, however, he struck out, flew out, and got on base via walk. This will be his 8th plate appearance, 7th official one.
There's a ball
depending on the outcome.
Jorgensen now on third. Or Knutson, I should say, on third. And the pitch outside. 2-0. I would say pretty much everybody here, including Valdosta State, Nova Southeastern, are like, let's just get this over and move on. Malcolm takes a 4-pitch walk. And that will bring up Rulai to the plate. You said this a while ago, and I laughed to myself when Sullivan was at the plate, and I think there was already one out, and you're like, when Rulai, if he has a chance to come up, I'm like, are you kidding? He's the 9th hitter in the order. Why would...
Yeah, why would he have the chance? But indeed, here's this chance.
And maybe a pitching change. I'm not sure. No, I don't think...
It looks like
he is.
Yes,
he is
it
going
is.
to make a pitching change.
It's going to be Logan McKeever coming in. He's a utility player, but he's going to be able to take them out here.
Okay.
So we'll be back as well for 2 outs, bottom of the 8th inning, what would likely be the Spartans' final at-bats of the game. We've got a pitching change for Spring Hill. We'll be back with more playoff baseball as this game might finally come to an end. Of course, up next, Nova Southeastern takes on Valdosta State in what should be an exciting second game today.
Just another ordinary day at UT.
So we are back at University.
Okay.
We're back at the University of Tampa campus. Spartans still facing off against the Badgers, and McKeever on the mound here with 1 out to go in the bottom of the 8th inning, looking to try to close out this game as we'll then enter the top of the 9th. Spartans have a very sizable lead, 30-4, as we are now going to see Rulai up.
So Josh Rulai to the plate, McKeever on the mound. He's listed as that's going to bring in a run. 35-4. That one's going to go to the wall. So Rulai will just have to go to second. You have no choice but just stroll in. Malcolm just glides into third base. So second and third with Rulai getting the base hit there.
He saw that early pitch that he liked, and he's going to take it up to the gap. And the Spartans extend their lead a little bit more, as that'll bring up the top of the order one more time. Jorgensen, despite coming on relatively late, he's already having his fourth plate appearance, although one of them didn't count as he was hit by a pitch, but he got on base previously and also flew out. He was up before, but the stats said it was Urso, but it wasn't Urso, it was Jorgensen. And on that one, first pitch is going to be taken, looks like for ball one.
So Jorgensen on the mound, McKeever.
That one inside. Count is going to go now to 1-1. The first pitch was a strike.
McKeever gets the sign and fires. Bounces away, and any other situation, John Malcolm trots across the plate. He just stays at third.
Count goes to 2-1 now. And you could argue that if the Spartans were still super aggressive on the base paths and everything, this game would be even higher. But again, there's no need to.
Nope.
Just keep it calm. Just stay on the base paths until there's a hit where you kind of have to run, as you've mentioned a few times. And just let the game play as it should. Jorgensen up here looking for another chance to get on base. 2-1.
So McKeever looks, winds, fires, popped up. It's going to be out of play. Makes it 2-2. We've gotten to the point where Drew Earhart is now running new baseballs out to the umpire. That's usually like a JV pitcher or somebody like that. But Drew's been out of the game for so long. He is tasked with that.
That's always an interesting, of course, sight to see. 2-2.
Bloops it. Does it fall? Nope. And that will end the inning. We'll go to the ninth, folks. We finally made it. Spartans do pick up 3 more runs and lead 35-4. Top of the ninth coming up right here on TampaSpartans.tv.
College sports.
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
A return to normal and all we love about sports.
You've instilled resilience, focus, and selflessness in us. We've put those lessons to work.
We've found strength and unity in each other.
You continue to take us places we never imagined.
You bring out the best in us.
So when we look forward, we see the light at the end of the tunnel.
We see a better world for all of us and for college sports.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby.
Inside the 30. Touchdown. Michaela birds it. An incredible finish by Hall.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org/opportunity.
We've reached the ninth inning, folks. Tampa 35, Spring Hill 4. Leading off for Spring Hill will be Williams, followed by Morgan and McClure. Drew Martin on the mound for Tampa through the 8th inning. Did give up a couple runs. Swing and a miss.
You did mention Martin did give up 2 runs, but it's a low, very low pressure outing for him. Just looking to eat up the final inning and hold on to the win for the Spartans.
Well, Joe Urso just wants him to throw strikes, and he walked 1 and went 3-1 on a couple players. He just wants to see him throw strikes. And he might have been a little disappointed that he got to 3 balls on a couple players and walked 1. That's low.
And exactly that. At this point, Urso just wants him to throw strikes. If they put the ball in play, they put the ball in play. Let fielders try to take care of it, and if not, hey, doesn't really matter that much. The 1-2 now after that one was low.
That's ball outside.
Grayson Williams had a single earlier, but has flown out in each of the previous at-bats.
Martin out of the stretch, nobody on anyway. Strike call. We've got one down here in the ninth. Williams, even though it's a 31-run difference, glaring at the home plate umpire for making the call. This brings up Morgan to the plate, who a long time ago was the starting pitcher in this game.
Morgan, the best hitter for Spring Hill, though. 2 for 4.
Fouls that one off. Morgan also the best hitter on the team, though not hitting at the, well, actually he's probably around 400 today, 500 actually.
So he'd actually
he's hitting better today than he is for the season when he's a 443 hitter. There's a ground out, and we're down to our last out of this game. It will be McClure, the shortstop, coming to the plate. So that may be, is that a pinch hitter or not? Nope, it is.
Nope. McClure is back up. He was able to single last time in the 8th inning and came all the way around for a run. 1 strikeout as he struck out looking in the 4th.
Martin in the stretch. Swing and a miss. Big swing by McClure.
I think McClure wanted to give Spring Hill their first home run of the game on that one.
Yep. What's the final tally? 8 for the Spartans?
8 for
the
Spartans.
We're at 8 right now? Okay. And we were at 4 or 5 after the second inning.
Yep. They kept those bats going with the lead.
1 ball, 1 strike. 1 more out, and this one's in the books. An historical day. Ground ball, that's going to get up the middle. We'll have to wait 1 more batter. Base hit for McClure will send Sweeney to the plate.
Keeps the game alive with that hit. And gives another chance for Sweeney to try to win.
Try to win?
Well, to try to avoid giving the Spartans the win just yet. It would take quite a bit for the win. Right there.
And the pitch. Check swing outside. They appeal it and they call strike.
It looked like he may have gone around.
So it is a strike call, 0-1.
And I'd say a very unlucky day for Sweeney, who's been a great bat all season for Spring Hill. Struck out, flew out, and had 2 ground outs, one of them a double play. Count goes to 0-2 after that one lands in the zone.
One pitch. In the dirt, blocked by Rulai.
Count goes to 1-2. Scoreboard was 1 strike off there. It's been a long day. They've had to import a lot of hits and a lot of runs and even a couple errors, too. 5 in total for Spring Hill. Now the 1-2 potentially to end the game.
Ball outside. Martin in the stretch, runner on first. 1-2 count, 2-2 count, I should say. Swing and a miss, ball game is over. Spartans win it, an historic day just by the enormity of the runs that Tampa scored. Tampa wins at 35-4 over Spring Hill. So Tampa will advance to a 4 o'clock game tomorrow against the winner of Valdosta State, Nova Southeastern, which starts about an hour from now. And Spring Hill will play the loser of that Valdosta Nova game at noon tomorrow. Spartans now 41-10 on the year, and Valdosta State 38-14. Double elimination tournament, so Spring Hill does live for another day. Line totals today: 35 runs, 33 hits, no errors for Tampa, 4 runs, 10 hits, 5 errors for Spring Hill. And, I'm trying to figure out who would get the win in this one. Canny did not go enough innings, so more than likely
actually,
it's going to be DeMo getting the win for the game because he
Spartans scored early though, so I wonder if Canny would be classified. But is there
you gotta go more than 2 innings or more than an inning and a half.
Well, DeMo did go 5 innings, so assume that he would then be awarded with it. 5 innings, 2 earned, but also 7 strikeouts and 79 pitches. He basically had to start as a follower in this game. And Martin would have a nice, easy hold job as he only surrendered 2 runs in 2 innings. The loss would certainly go to Morgan, 1 1/3 pitched and 6 earned. Tough outing for him. The best pitcher was McKeever and Del Cambra, who didn't have a single earned run. Del Cambra had a lot of unearned, of course, off errors and such.
All right, so we will be back tomorrow. The Valdosta State Nova Southeastern game, you will be able to watch it. And so if you want to tune in for that, feel free. But we will be back at 4 o'clock tomorrow as the Spartans will take on the winner of Valdosta State Nova Southeastern. So thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow. You've been watching it on TampaSpartans.tv.